What is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. It's a little bright, but here I have my maxed out and geared out level 120 Death Knight. Now, I know last time I showed you guys the Transmog that I love on a Death Knight, but this is some new gear that got implemented. I don't know if this build or the build before that. And this gear is given to you when you go to the enemy faction after you unlock world questing. And I actually really like this gear. So this is how I have my DK decked out right now. Pretty cool transmog, I think. Let's jump into it. Let's show you guys the heroic. Honestly, I think blood DKs are just gonna rock things. And they did get a little bit of a nerf. They got a little bit of a nerf in the build that went out this week, but the nerf is so small. They got a little bit of a nerf in one area and a little bit of a buff in a different area, so a little bit of a give and take. Their death strike healing got nerfed by 3% minimum, and I believe 5% of damage taken in the past few seconds. But overall, it's still a very good heal. Let me actually switch what mount I have here, because sometimes this mount doesn't really go through doors. Let's do a warhorse. I like this warhorse. Yeah, let's do that. What's up, Tommy? What's up, bro? So my DK here is item level 316. Heroics drop item level 325. So I'm almost fully heroic geared. I have a few pieces that are, you know, lacking, like these shoulder pieces. I have not been able to find good shoulder pieces. Thank you, Glock. Thank you, Glock. I hope you don't leave. Please don't leave me. It's been so long, Glock. We haven't tanked in years. So let's jump into, oh, I even get bonuses right now for heroic. Let's jump into a simple heroic here. My meter's on the left hand side. Top one is damage taken, then damage done, and then healing done. It's important to note, my damage taken on this DK is average to below average of the other tanks. So I'm taking less damage than I normally would. And at the same time, I'm not only taking less damage, I'm also doing a lot more healing. DYXX, thanks, man. Thanks. I'm also, not only am I taking less damage, I'm also doing more healing. And actually, the AoE threat on DKs is really good. So the AoE threat on DKs with the Death and Decay, a few Blood Boils, and then your play going out there, passive cleaving with Heart Strike, it's really good. I hardly have too many problems with keeping aggro. There are a few times. One of the classes right now that seems to be a little bit broken is Elemental Shamans. If an Elemental Shaman is stacking Mastery right now, it's really broken in the beta. But you know, that's a very specific instance. Alright, let's pull these guys. You guys will see my damage taken is going to be about the same as other tanks with 7 to 9k, but my healing done is what's really helping offset all of that. The only other thing that I'm really going to have that's going to be helping me offset or helping me tank is the fact that I never have to worry about aggro. My damage done, I'm second on the meters right now. My damage taken 7k, that's a low average, and then my healing done 4.7k. So these DKs, man, they're good. They're feeling real strong. This pull is going to be a little bit more damage, a little bit more burst damage in the very beginning while we have all of these ads up. So you guys can see I'm taking 15,000 damage per second, but that'll be offset pretty quickly. Let me make up a little bit of that with some Blood Drinker here and just do a little bit of healing. So yeah, blood DKs did get a little bit of a nerf in this last build. Nothing major. Basically, let's not pull that guy. Come on. That guy is gonna make this guy have a shield wall. Why are we pulling? Alright, so blood DKs got a nerf to their death strike. Their death strike now heals a minimum of 3% less, and overall damage taken I think is 5% less. But their mastery got a bump up to 50% more. Now their mastery, what it does is it gives you a bubble once you death strike. So once you death strike, you get this small absorption bubble, and it's kind of hard to see with the way my frames are, but here it is. Absorbs damage. The good thing about DK mastery and their bubble is the fact that it has no maximum cap. So if I decide to just death strike a target, let's say it's a ranged target that has no threat and just bouncing around everywhere, I can stack that death strike bubble very high. And with the recent buff to it, that means that not only do I have anti-magic shell for that magic mitigation, my death strike can also be used for magic mitigation because I do have that bubble effect as part of it. And Kaiser, yeah, we're doing DK today. After this DK, according to the survey that all you guys took, I'm going to be doing Brewmaster. So the next one is Brewmaster. We're going to finish it off with Vengeful Demon Hunter at the end. And once I'm done with all of those, I'll be putting out like an official top tanking classes for BfA. Since at that point, I have tried them all. I've done Endgame with all of them, right? Like all of my tanks right now that I do have are geared enough to be doing Mythic dungeons. The DK is a little bit low. Hopefully I get a little bit of pieces of gear while we do this live stream and we can finish off the live stream with a Mythic. So that's the hope for this DK. But, you know, for the most part, I have Mythic 0 gear, which means that I can run Uldir without getting scaled up. I can basically do the raid without having to worry about what kind of gear are they going to give me. I'm already geared up. I don't need to worry about any of that. So, you know, I'll have a pretty good insight as to which tanks are performing well as far as the first tier of BfA goes. Is this heroic? Yeah, this is heroic. My item level right now is 316. 316. Heroic drops item level 325. So I'm the right item level gear to be doing these dungeons. So I'm what, 9 item levels low? That's perfectly in the range for being able to progress through this content. Let me pull this guy over here. The rest of them will follow suit. I think the Warlock already dotted them. This Warlock is running ahead of me and just doing things. Numbers aside, which tank playstyle do I enjoy the most right now? Kind of looking at Monk or Warrior. The playstyles that I'm enjoying the most right now, Demon Hunter and DK. Warriors did receive a small buff in this last build. They have better scaling on their Ignore Pain, but the Ignore Pain is still on the global, and I think that just... as much as it's just one move, it's a core part of your mitigation. It's something that you're going to be using a lot as a warrior, and it's something that just feels like a wrench in your rotation. You know, having to get that Ignore Pain off while it's on the global cooldown, it just feels, it doesn't feel like a fun choice. You're either choosing Generate Rage or Eat Rage. There is no in between. There's no cleave part of it. It's just... It's a part of your core survival fantasy that they're building that is on the global for some odd reason. I'm really enjoying the DK playstyle. The DK playstyle you run in, and also the Vengeance Demon Hunter playstyle. I think they both have the positives that they have is a positive that they share, is that you run in and you do damage and you're just tanky by running in there. So you run in and you're doing offensive things. You run in, you're tossing a Death and Decay on the ground, you're blood boiling to apply your plague everywhere, you're marrow striking, you get bone shield in return. Death Strike is offensive, it also heals you, it's also your active mitigation. Like all these things, you're playing offensively. You're going out there. You're running out there like a badass should. You know, as you're the first person out there in your group, and you're just tanky. You're tanky as a result of it. There are certain ways that you play when you're starting to be a little bit more defensive. Maybe you're running Rune Tap and you're gonna start prioritizing Rune Tap with your runes. Maybe you're running Blood Drinker and you're gonna stop and take a sip. But even then, Blood Drinker does damage. Blood Drinker is really good for building threat as well. So even though like certain things are defensive, they're also offensive, and they feel great. Your Dancing Rune Weapon is a really good offensive cooldown, but it also applies to your plagues. It also helps you build bone shield faster. So those two tanks really have like this playstyle where they're offensive and defensive. They're just passively tanky. Like you do things, and that's how you become tanky. Like you're just out there being the best DK that you can be. As a warrior, you have to spend a global cooldown doing Ignore Pain. You have to spend a global cooldown demoralizing Shout. You know, there's certain things that just kind of, you stop your rotation in order to stay alive, and that's not the case with Vengeance Demon Hunters or with Blood DKs. That's what I'm really enjoying about them. You don't have to stop and be a tank. You are a tank because you're that spec. That's it. 325, 330 for eye level for Mythic Plus. No, Mythic Plus starts at 345. So 340 is baseline Mythic. So Mythic 0 is 340. Mythic Plus 2 is 345. So a little bit more. Yeah, you can see how that playstyle can make the others seem a little bit bland. Yeah, Brawl, that's the unfortunate part. That for other classes, like even Guardian Druid. For Guardian Druid, you have to stop and Frenzied Regen. For Guardian Druid, you have to stop and do your I forget what the shout was called. The shout that interrupts everybody. You know, like there's certain things that you have to kind of stop and do. Now, Druids are still very strong and very passively tanky. The big problem that Druids have right now is that they don't do enough DPS, so they lose threat. But you know, in the last Q&A, Blizzard did say that they're going to do the numbers change very soon. So, hopefully those numbers are going to get tuned up a little bit. You know, that's the hope. That they did say it is a numbers change coming. But you guys see, look, I'm at 300%. I was at 300% aggro. I did a taunt with a Blood Drinker. I was at 800%. Like, taunt plus Blood Drinker is really good. But yeah, you just naturally do things. And look at this. I have Bone Shield up. It's increasing my armor. You know, it's great. It's great. I like just being able to run in, and I'm a tank because I chose this spec. I chose my gear. I'm doing my proper rotation. I have my buffs up that are making me tanky. You know, I know how to use Marrow Strike and maintain my Bone Shield strikes up. Like all these things, they're great. They're great that they just happen. But with other tanks, you have to stop and invest a global. Stop and invest 1.5 seconds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in the middle of combat, you really do have to stop deliberately. Stop hitting your shield slam. You know, stop hitting your next ability in order to be defensive. And it just kind of sucks that you have to take a little break from really doing what you should be doing, which is just actively damaging, actively hitting things. I know as a tank, our DPS doesn't mean a lot, but the playstyle really does get affected. What's up, nerds? Do you think keeping off-spec gears will be easy in BfA? It'll be easier than it was in Legion. It's still kind of cumbersome, to be honest. It's still kind of like, it's not the best thing. It's not something that I enjoy, because you guys will see here, I always stack up my Azerite gear. So you guys see over on the right hand side, let me oh, you guys can see half the bag. So that Azerite gear, I always keep it just because not only are they always changing Azerite traits in the beta, which is a big reason, but also that Azerite gear can be for me going Unholy, for me going Frost. You know, all these things are possibilities. So I do keep all that Azerite gear. It's going to be easier because since Azerite gear doesn't Titan Forge and doesn't Warforge, once you get your piece of Azerite gear, you have your piece of Azerite gear. You don't need to worry until you bump up your difficulty. but it's still gonna be a little annoying. So given how Azerite gear works, everybody's running back. Everybody died because they weren't standing in the rune. So since Azerite gear works, I unlocked the tiers, right? So I don't see what the problem would be with unlocking all of these bonuses. Like, I already unlocked the first level. When I change talent points, why can't this rotate automatically to Unholy, to Frost? You know, it's the bad part of Legion was trying to get legendaries and maxing out your legendaries every single time you change your spec, every single time you did something. That's not the problem anymore, and Azerite gear isn't that annoying. The biggest thing for me every time I made a new alt in Legion was I need best in slot legendaries, and I would go and I'd grind out the first two because the first two had really good bad luck protection, right? But then after that, I really didn't want to do anymore. I was just like, I don't want to have to grind out best in slot legendaries for all 3 of my specs, or 2 of my specs, or 4 of my specs, depending on what class we're talking about. This dungeon is rugged. The healer took a beating yesterday. This dungeon has a lot of people who you need to kite, and that's one of those things. This dungeon also has a lot of interrupts that are needed. So you need to know what the pulls are doing, how things are happening. Right now, I'm going to start working on dungeon guides, since I think at this point, most of the patches that are coming through at this point seem to be more focused at numbers and at players, like what your classes are doing. So I think they're done changing dungeons. So I'm going to start working on cataloging all these dungeons. I'm going to be doing 2 separate videos per dungeon. One is going to be your regular boss guide, and one is going to be your Mythic Plus pulls and run through, which is going to include notable trash, you know, things that you need to know about for trash. Let's pull these guys. I always get a group that always ends up running into people. So at this point, I'm over pulling just to kind of be careful with my group. So you see we have these guys patting. Hopefully they pat back by the time we're done with this pull, because or else I feel like someone's gonna pull them. Oh, I saw a hunter pet get real close. Okay, let's go. Someone's probably gonna pull those pats behind me. Look, we have an imp here. It's probably just gonna be that imp, you know. So in big pulls like this, since we are running heroic, I do pop 1 defensive cooldown. If you had a group that had really good chain stuns, wouldn't be necessary. But you know, in pugs, you just kind of brave the frontier, and vampiric blood isn't gonna be the biggest cooldown for me to pop either. So let's pull these guys. Let's pull them back. These guys run away when they get low on HP. I don't want them to pull the boss. You guys can see I can actually kite on a blood DK. When you guys see me on like a warrior and stuff, I'm losing threat. I'm really scared of like people dying to that kind of threat loss. But on my blood DK, no threat loss. Death and decay, that's enough. Alright, so we have to interrupt that slicing blast as much as we can. Here's the hindering cleave on a DK. You guys saw that was maybe 15% of my HP. Definitely not as bad as it is for some of the other classes that we've tried. So I have enough for a rune tap here, so I'll definitely keep an eye on that. Here's a rune tap coming in, and with rune tap up, that hindering cleave doesn't really do too much. I definitely want to try to stay in here though. And there's the Blessing of Iron, so I can actually kite him during this time. So you guys see he's very, very much slowed. So I go ahead and interrupt Tidecaller Gale again. So at this point, I need to go back to the other boss. Here's a reinforcing ward. Hindering cleave right now, rune tap. Okay. So yeah, the really cool thing with a blood DK, my animations are completely broken. The really cool thing with a blood DK is you have some answers to things. Here's a hindering cleave. I didn't have rune tap up for that. Whoops. Should have popped the cooldown at that point. I thought I had a rune tap, but I don't. Also, my weak auras are starting to finish up. These Blood Decay weak auras are not done yet. The last few times I've tried to work on them, the client crashes and it doesn't save anything. So I still need to finish him up. So here's the blessing. Here's when I can kite him. When he gets this, he does a ton more damage. While the other boss is active, it's a little bit more difficult because I want to be in there interrupting as well. Rune tap for this hindering cleave. We're good. What's up, Krugler? How you doing? You completely agree? Should work like talents? Yeah, Rafi, I think so. I think in order to stop us from having bags full of this, and this is my least geared character, you know? All my other characters just have bags full of gear. So in order to stop that, they should just make a change. It feels as though BfA is a rush job and will launch incomplete with fixes coming in patch while live. I don't think they tested the extent of how bad it was going to be to remove all of our artifact weapons and the traits that came along with it. So not only the artifact weapons and the artifact ability that we got, but I don't think they realized how big it was going to be to remove those talents as well. So I think I think development thought that it was going to be a lot easier to kind of tune everything and to just kind of be like, hey, you know what, we'll just make you do 10% more damage because we took away this ability that gave you a decent amount of damage. But it turns out our damage got changed around a lot. Our rotation got affected a lot, and I don't think they saw that these many changes were going to be affected. My animations are bugged, and I look at my animations to know when my globals are off, when I can do things. Let me do a / reload. How does blood feels? Amazing. Rogerio, it feels amazing. My animations are still broken. Why? Okay, I guess we're gonna have to do the rest of this dungeon with no animations. Maybe I can relaunch the client after this. It keeps crashing. This patch broke a lot of things. My brain freeze is back up. I can interrupt this guy in next cache right now. There it is. What's your haste at the moment as Blood? James, my haste is 19%. 19% haste, 39% mastery. If you ask me, right now, the thing to go is mastery, as opposed to something like haste. I think you should go mastery and then haste. But, you know, right now, there's not too many, like, logs that I can go based off of to tell you if that's exactly what you should be doing in the beta. But it sure feels like it, especially because they recently buffed Mastery. So Mastery gives you a bigger bubble. Mastery is going to be one of your most consistent forms of magic mitigation. I know AMS is amazing, and then you can also spec into Rune Tap if you want to pick that up. But Mastery is going to be very consistent. It's just built into your rotation, gives you that bubble. That bubble has no maximum cap, so you get to just stack it up as much as you want to. But yeah, I still don't know if getting Mastery, if getting Haste is going to be a little bit better. I would need to really see those logs, and those logs, you know, not really available right now. Look at this. Oh, man. I want to see my animations. What's up, Mehmet? How you doing, my friend? My Nighthold guides were great. You like some dungeon guides? Yeah, Ian, I'm going to be working on those. So I'm going to start working on them. So I know that I normally put out content about 3 to 4 times a week, and that is probably going to be slowing down because I want to build the catalog of the dungeon guides right now. But if I start publishing them all right now, you know, no one's going to see them, and everyone's going to forget that they exist in 2 months when BfA launches. So I'm definitely going to slow down the content you guys see. But what that means is that when BfA launches, that day that BfA launches, I want to publish all of the dungeon guides. I want to just hit you guys with content. So as much as I'm going to be spamming your inboxes, and I'm sorry for that, I need to build that catalog, and I need to start it now. Now that I feel that these dungeons are not going to change, these guys are crazy. That Warlock is pulling for me. All right, let's Gore Fiends. So that's another cool thing with Blood Decays, being able to do that reposition with Gore Fiends. I know we have a lot of tanks where being able to reposition is difficult. You know, actually recently had a comment when someone said I actually have a lot of difficulty with Sanguine because I play a Prot Warrior. And guess what? As a Prot Warrior, if you want to play something in with Sanguine, you have to run in and interrupt it. But Sanguine really hurts after the buff, or you need to taunt and LOS. It's not as clear as you think. And Blood DKs, they can just do those things. It's just part of their kit. And also when you need to pick up aggro, it's a lot easier when everything is right in front of you, rather than having like an AoE that's going to cleave them, and you need to position your AoE perfectly to be able to hit everything. Like, it's just easier to have command over the mob and say, you know what, you're going to stand right here, right where I can hit you, right where I can hit all of you at the exact same time. Do I think Blood is top tier? Yes. I think Blood is... So I haven't done Brewmaster and Vengeance Demon Hunter yet. Keep that in mind. I have done Vengeance Demon Hunter up to like level 114 when it was alpha, but ever since they wiped all the characters, I haven't done Vengeance Demon Hunter at the end game. So I think Blood DK is the #1 tank for Mythic Plus. I think Blood DK is the I think DK is tied for #2 on a raid. I think for a raid for #1, you're gonna have Brewmaster for progression, or Guardian Druid for farm, and then you're gonna have Blood DK right under. So depending on if you're doing progression or farming, the Blood DK and Brewmaster will switch and tie with Blood DK at #2. But for 5-man content, Blood DK any day. And they decided to put everything on the global cooldown for reasons. Well, they actually got rid of like 80% of it. So the global cooldown thing was so big. It was such a big controversy, and they ended up reverting about 80% of it, to be honest with you. I think the classes that it's going to affect most is, unfortunately, the majority of you guys, the majority of my viewers. It's going to be affecting us a little bit more than other people, because I do feel that tanks get affected by the global cooldown change more than other classes. Healers, they have cast times. Range casters, they have cast times. And then you have range DPS. And uh-oh, this guy needs to be DPS and needs to be picking up these orbs. He didn't, so now he's going to try to kill us. Okay, we need to kill him first. So I'm gonna see if the orb can hit him. I pop Vampiric Blood too, trying to survive. Just trying to stay alive. Oh no, I'm going. Oh, that was my healer. That's why I'm going down. Okay. I need to try to stay alive. Here's a little bit of blood. Okay, we somehow made it with our healer getting MC'd first. Okay. So yeah, the global cooldown change, they undid the large majority of it, fortunately, but I think it's going to affect tanks more, because tanks have a necessity to maintain aggro, especially now when they nerfed aggro, right? So they nerf threat by like 80% in some cases, a minimum of 60% nerf, but so they nerf threat. So now we need to always be on the offense, right? We always need to be casting things. We always need to be hitting things. We always need to be doing these offensive things in order to maintain aggro. But at the same time, our defensives, our shorter defensives, are now also on the global cooldown. So for tanks, it impacts us a little bit more. Even melee was used to, I use this ability, I get 1 global cooldown. There are some classes that got impacted a little bit more. If you go down here, by the way, you can avoid these guys, and these guys are terrible. I can't tank them from over there. You need to run over here, guy. They're gonna sacrifice themselves to the gods. So yeah, I think for tanks, global cooldown change affects us a lot more, because we need to be defensive and offensive at the exact same time. And we need to respond to certain things. So there's a cast bar going off on me right now. I need to hit this in order for that cast bar to not completely one-shot me. However, Blizzard slowed down my ability to respond, but they didn't slow down that cast bar. So while the ability for me to respond is on a 1.5 second global cooldown, the actual cast bar going off on me doesn't have an extra second and a half added to it. Things can still cast in 1 second, in 1.5 seconds, so, you know. Oh, they're screaming at me, guys. They're screaming at me. Won't that very negative impact on your rune generation Death Strike usage, or is that less of a priority? I think it's a little bit less of a priority, to be completely honest with you. But, you know, I've yet to see the logs. So until I see the logs, I can't really tell you. Oh god, they're cussing at each other. Cool. So until I see the logs, I can't really tell you if mastery is going to be better than haste. But it just feels like the one thing that got taken away from every tank is magic mitigation, right? There's no magic mitigation except for, you know, Blood Decays got lucky enough to keep their AMS, but not everybody's that lucky. So since Blood Decays got to keep that, they're still in a decent place. But your mastery provides mitigation for anything, for magic, for anything. It's just a bubble. So if you ask me, I think that's gonna be really, really good. But I don't know which one's gonna be better now. I think mastery and haste are still gonna be the go-to though. What's up, Demon Hunter? How you doing, my friend? Glad to have me back. Thank you, Muhammad. Alright, so Dancing Rune Weapon. Let's get both of our plagues up. One thing with Dancing Rune Weapon that makes it a little bit awkward now is the fact that each hit of Marrow Strike gives you 6 stacks of Bone Shield. So since you don't want to overstack it, you need to get 2 stacks of Bone Shield to go away within the first few seconds, which doesn't always happen. So sometimes, you know, more often than not, when you pop Dancing Rune Weapon, you are overstacking your Bone Shield. So I really like the combination of Taunt plus Blood Drinker. It gives me such an edge on threat. It's insane. That's my opener for bosses. That's how I maintain things to be able to slowly kite them. So anytime I lose threat on a mob, if I have a range mob somewhere, I just taunt Blood Drinker. It makes it insane. All right, so we're gonna get a bunch of ads here. Gotta be careful with this guy. I gotta take him away from the ads. Hopefully everybody else in my group starts nuking these ads. I don't see anyone really nuking the ads. I see a stun go out, but no DPS on him. Uh-oh. Okay. So let me run this guy. Okay. I was gonna run him over a little bit more, but got him down anyway. Nice! Got an Azurite piece. Let's drop this group. Queue up for another one. Let me catch up with you guys. On live at the moment, your Blood Decay is running about 65% haste baseline. James, you are never going to have Legion numbers on secondary stats. Ever again. And I say that, you know, completely knowing what I'm saying. Like, this is never going to happen again where you have that much of a secondary stat. And let me tell you why. Azurite gear. So Blizzard wants us to change to primary stats. They want primary stats to be our focus. So what they did was they did this. Look at my Azurite gear. No secondary stats. Look at this Azurite gear. No secondary stats. Look at this Azurite gear. No secondary stats. So you are never going to have Legion number secondary stats ever again, because as of right now, Azurite gear has no secondary stats. Your 4 highest weighted pieces in terms of the amount of stats that they give you are helmet, shoulders, chest, and legs. 3 out of those 4 have no secondary stats. So if you like having 60% haste, if you like having 50% haste, if you like having 50% crit, those numbers are not going to exist in BfA. It's all about primary stats. It's all about how much intel, how much strength, how much agility you have, because Azurite gear has none of that. So yeah, I understand that the feeling is going to be very scary, but then again, nowadays things don't scale with your secondary stats as heavily because of all these patches that they've been doing. So it's still worrisome. I still worry a little bit as well. Nice. Increases its duration to 6 seconds. Yeah, let's do that. AMS. So you know, it's worrisome to not have any secondary stats, but a lot of abilities scale off of how much spell power and attack power you have. So hopefully it'll scale well. No animations is the best animations. No, I need those animations. They need to tell me when I can do things. Busy at work watching the TI qualifiers. Oh, the TI qualifiers are up right now? What's the region playing right now? The Warlock is mad because he thought he could pull like a tank. Well, it's hard to pick up AoE threat in the middle of water because Death and Decay doesn't properly do it. Death and Decay either goes to the top surface level of water or all the way at the bottom of water. Blood Boil would work, but you know, at that point I was just like, they can sacrifice so we can go res them after. Feels like haste will be the best stat for everyone in the beginning because you can't run around with 9% haste. I agree, Jerry. I think haste is going to be very important for the large majority of people, especially now that we're also going to be in a world where the global cooldown is very predominant, right? The global cooldown is what's going to be slowing down all of your actions, unless you're like, if you're a mage, not so much. If you're an Ellie shaman, not so much. But like for melee classes, your global cooldown is what's stopping you from clicking your next button. So if you have a rotation that's fast enough, that global cooldown, minimizing that global cooldown, I think will have really big impacts on your rotation. You love how fast your DK is at the moment. Ted Russell, thanks for the sub, man. I appreciate it. Crazy Phase, good to know that the spec works. Yeah, the spec is really, really working out right now. South America is right now, and in a few hours, North America. Uh-oh. You hit me with the Keiko net. If you don't follow the tank in the dungeon, you want to go your way and stay, you shouldn't get mad. That's what I think, but a lot of people don't agree. A lot of people think that the tank's job is to pick up the threat that anyone else is going to be doing. So if someone runs over here and pulls all this trash, I have to run over there and save them. I had a dungeon before going live. I was trying to finish up my gearing process, where my healer was pulling for me a lot, every pull, and then during the boss pull he also pulled more trash as well, caused about 3 wipes, and started yelling at me. After he yelled at me, I told him that I wasn't aware of the priest tanking spec, but you know, BfA might have some changes I don't know of. So yeah, pulls like this, I'm going to be taking a high amount of damage taken per second, but that would be, you know, just about any tank. I am also offsetting a little bit of that damage taken with my healing done. So you can see that healing done for that pull, I almost out-healed my healer. I was out-healing my healer for all the beginning portion of it, right? So very close to out-healing my healer, and then my damage taken is about average with the rest of the tanks, meaning that I can really perform better than other tanks because I have that constant healing, because I have those absorbs, because I have the AMS in case any magic damage is going to hit. Like I have a solution for a lot of things. I have a Mind Freeze, I have a Gorfiend's Grasp, and I have a Grip, and that's going to help me also do interrupts and minimize the amount of magic damage I'm going to be taking. So not only do I have AMS, I have other answers for magic damage as well that aren't as apparent. They don't say this is for magic damage, but you know, you have a lot of answers, and Blood DK is just going to be that 5-man king, just like they are now, right? When you watch the MDI, you're always seeing a Blood DK, and that's just because they have an answer to everything. Necrotic, got an answer to it. Being able to kite anything, you know, you have an answer to that too. Having really good AoE pickup and threat generation, you have an answer to that. Hey, your healer kind of went down a little prematurely. I can play defensively and completely spam heal myself. I have an answer to that too. So there's always an answer with a Blood DK. Also, even just with their having the grip and a regular taunt, you also have different ways of making mobs snap to you. Gorfine's Grasp doesn't have that type of taunt mechanic, but at least, you know, you have other things that are going to help you with additional taunt mechanics. So there's always an answer. Also, Wraithwalk completely gets rid of any snares that are currently on you, and so does the, what is this one called? Death's Advance. So Death's Advance and Wraithwalk are going to keep you running at full speed or higher. You know, Wraithwalk, it is a talent point now, which kind of feels bad, man, but it's at least, it maintains you at 170% minimum run speed. Priest tanking spec, hey, you know, pulling a bunch of trash. We had already wiped on a few other trash pulls, so pulling a bunch of trash in the middle of a boss fight, I don't see the point of it. Tanks are a valuable commodity because there's only one tank you can find DPS under. Tanks are also few and far in between because you need to be a specific class in order to even tank. And then there's also got to be something wrong in your brain where you're like, I want to subject myself to tanking in pugs. It's just, you know, there's just something wrong in our brains that we're like, we just love that pug life with tanking. Or with, I feel like healing is very similar too, if you're also a pug healer. This priest can survive way longer than their shadow counterparts. That's very true. Yes, they can. Group Leech is gone. Yes, it is, Jerry. Group Leech has been replaced. So the Group Leech ability is called Consumption, right? Consumption has been replaced with a new Consumption. And this new version is an AoE cleave in front of you that hits all of the targets that are in front of you. And it heals you for 100% of the damage done. It does as much damage. I think it does less damage than a Death Strike, so the amount of damage it does is not that great, and the amount of mobs you need in front of you in order to make that cleave worth your time and heal a significant amount is probably about 8 to 9 mobs. So the new form of Consumption is very, very flawed. The only way for you to get Leech, it's a personal Leech, and I'll show you right now. The only way for you to get Leech is by having this talent point right here. Death Strike grants you 15% Leech for 6 seconds. It's one of the talent points that I really do need to play around with, and I'm definitely going to be looking into it. Bloodworms right now are kind of working as far as like they heal for an amount of HP that's missing, and for the most part you just don't stay 100% topped off all the time. So, you know, I've had moments where those leeches really help me out, where my healer might go down, so the amount of healing that they do is going to get increased. Now, if you're farming content, leeches have a far lesser impact because you are going to be staying at a higher HP value. But yeah, the only way for you to get leech is Voracious, and the new Consumption is right here. 45-second cooldown. Strikes enemies in front of you, deals damage, heals you for 100% of that damage. That amount of damage, 3,300. Let's see, my Death Strike hits for 9,000. What can I compare it to? My Death Strike, it hits a little bit harder than my Death Strike. It's 50% harder than my Heart Strike, sorry. So 50% harder than my Heart Strike, and it heals me for the damage done. But yeah, 45-second cooldown is pretty steep. I would much rather pick up hemostasis and be able to control my heals by blood boiling, right? So hemostasis is your legendary shoulders in live right now, and those stacks are really help out. They increase the healing that you do by Death Strike 8% up to 5 times. That's a very significant amount of healing. That pug life, Demon Hunter. Living that pug life. Tanks are natural masochists. Healers are actually sadists because they keep healing the tanks so they can suffer more pain. Oh man, tanks are like, no. Everybody's like, hey, let's go do that guy. And let's go get that guy, and that guy's gonna beat us all up. And the tank's like, no, I want him to only beat me up. I want to take all the punches. And you're like, what? Why? I popped AMS. This Arsonist does do a lot of like fire debuffs and fire things to me. So keeping him at bay, and then starting to rotate a few of the cooldowns here, because this pull, since I decided to stack them up, you know, they do a little bit more damage, but no big deal. As long as I rotate my cooldowns, keep my hemostasis stacks up, and rotate them well as well, I'll be fine. But you guys can see I'm hardly tab spamming to maintain threat on everyone. It's not something that I have to do as often as I do on my warrior, on my druid, on my paladins. Actually have really good cleave too. Paladins have consecrate and the Avenger shield cleaving. If you run blessed hammers as well, you never have to worry about it. But there are better choices than blessed hammers now. Where would I say the Blood DK tank has its weakness? I would say the Blood DK's weakness is in the fact, like, if you've never played a Blood DK, they are gonna be a little bit, they're gonna have a higher skill curve, right? You have a much bigger kit. Like, let's compare Blood DKs to Vengeance Demon Hunters. On a Vengeance Demon Hunter, you have your filler, which is either shear or fracture, depending on if you pick up the talent point. Then you're just gonna hit soul cleave to pick up your fragments. If you pick up spirit bomb, you're also gonna try to do that. You know, every 30 seconds, maintain that cooldown, or depending on how many people you have in front of you. So, like a Vengeance Demon Hunter, you know, you immo aura, you get your filler, you spend your fragments, and that's it. As a Blood DK, the thing is, in order for you to completely utilize the kit, you need to be much more aware. Those guys are not elites. Whatever. You know, I'll move on. I'll move the group on to all of these elites. So yeah, as a Blood DK, you need to know things. Like, you need to know that if you're trying to interrupt an ability with a grip, it needs to be a channel, and you need to let it go off. And as soon as it goes off, that's when you basically interrupt it with the grip. Like, there's a lot more knowledge that needs to go into playing a Blood DK. You need to be aware that your mind freeze has range, so you can actually do a mind freeze from, like, what is it, 10 yards, 15 yards. So you can actually do mind freeze from far away. Like, you can utilize that to your advantage. Knowing the range of a Gorfiend's Grasp, knowing where that limit is, knowing how to cycle through your defensives, like, it's all really, it's all things that you need to become really aware of. So I think the drawbacks with Blood DKs just come from the skill curve. That being said, if you are willing to learn a Blood DK, as of right now, there's not much else in terms of negatives. They take average damage taken per second. They're not as spiky as they once were in Legion, because they have those heals, so they still take an average amount of damage taken per second. They can offset that with heals. Yeah, there's... Oh, they also don't have as many defensive cooldowns that are as obvious right off the bat. So if you're doing progression rating, not 5-band content, but progression rating, it might be a little bit more difficult for you to take those big hits right off the bat. So if you are doing progression rating, in order for you to take those big hits, an easy way to do it first is to go into Rune Tab. But once you're very used to your Blood DK, you're gonna get used to stacking your mastery up before those big hits. You're gonna get used to maybe running what's the one that consumes 2 charges of your bone shield? I forget what it is. Rapid decomposition. So you're gonna get used to running these things. So I think in raid scenarios, Blood DKs probably have a larger learning curve, and you'll need to kind of worry about things a little bit more differently. But as far as too many drawbacks, they're not really there. It's just, it's a lot of good things. Some Blood DK action. What's up, Macho? Tanks need a thick skin in Pug life. Yes, yes, you do. All right, taking him down. Give me the loot. Is this guy like a rare elite? This guy's not. Oh, he's mauling our healer. can't interrupt him out of it either. Huh. Nope, immune to stuns. Alright. You guys will see here, this is a really good opener. So I'm going to taunt and blood drinker. So here, I have 16,000% threat on this guy. Like that, this guy is never going to snap off of me. I don't care what my group does and tries to do things. Like I can stop attacking this guy right now, this jailer. I will not lose threat anymore. Mobility, Ted Russell. Even then, their mobility is not that bad. Wraithwalk is now 1 minute. You do need to spend a talent point in it, and I realize that. But you guys see my threat, not losing it. So, Wraithwalk is now 1 minute. 1 minute is not bad. And then you also have this passive called Death's Advance. You see it right here. I can never go below 70% movement. So I think one of the things that frustrated DKs more, rather than I can't move fast, was, hey, I'm moving at a snail's pace. I'm moving so damn slow. I have no way to get rid of that. And now you're never going to go below 70%, which isn't bad. You also have that Wraithwalk on a 1 minute cooldown, but that same passive, so this same ability that doesn't let you get below 70% is a 45-second cooldown as well that puts you back to 100% run speed. So while your mobility doesn't allow you to cut distances like instantly, Wraithwalk is going to allow you to do that at a 1 minute cooldown. But then you also have these passives that are going to stop you from being slowed. I think that's a big key here. The fact that you're never gonna feel like a snail, because you can't be snared below 70%, and even then you have a 45-second cooldown that'll put you right back at 100% and makes you immune to movement abilities. And that passive is baseline. You don't need to talent it. That's just baseline. NA qualifier started less than an hour ago. Oh, okay. Blood DKs have asphyxiate as another interrupt. Yes, that's right. That's right, nerds. I forgot about their little son. Or I forgot to mention it. You have that Death's Advance. Using it gives you 30% run speed. Using it puts you at 100. I don't think it... I think it puts you at 100. Let's see. When you use it, you cannot be slowed below 30%, and you're immune to force knockbacks effects. And you gain that 30%. You're right, Nacho. So you can't be slowed below that 100%. So nowadays, even if you don't want to pick up Wraithwalk, which I think you should, the mobility isn't as impacted as it was in Legion. In Legion, I agree that Blood DKs, they could be slowed, and there was these moments of frustration. But you guys can see there, like, I interrupted this guy twice, Mind Freeze and Grip. But yeah, I think there was a few things that led to frustration, and I think a lot of them were the fact that you could get snared. Now that that's gone, I think Blood DKs are just going to not have any weakness. The amount of damage taken per second is in line with everyone else. I don't take more just because I can heal. The amount of healing I do, and you guys can see, is matching this healer. I mean, I don't know if this healer is like above average, below average, but I'm maintaining a pretty good healing per second by keeping up with this healer, and that's just via Death Strike and Blood Drinker. So yeah, there's a lot to like about Blood DKs. All of their interrupts. And then they do have that one offensive cooldown by having that Dancing Rune weapon. It'll allow you to get 2 diseases up on every target. That guy was just trying to destroy the cannon. Oh no! Why those guys? Let's kill the guys we're on. Yeah, so Blood DKs, they just have a lot of advantages, to be completely honest with you. I really can't think of a disadvantage that'll stop them from, from anyone rolling them, or from them being at the top, unless they completely nerf the numbers. Right now their AoE pickup is really good, their threat is really good, their healing's good, their damage is good. You guys can also see my damage done. It's never terrible, although right now with these cannons it's going to look terrible because the cannons do an insane amount. It's just part of the mechanic. Alright. Let me just snap these guys to me. DPS needs to learn how to DPS again. You don't think the threat issue will be a big issue in the long run? The aggro enough is idiotic. You were planning on tanking BfA, very doubtful. With that said, what class do you think generates and maintains multi-target threat easiest? It appears to be Blood DK. I would say that Vengeance Demon Hunter probably does it a little bit more. Vengeance Demon Hunter has a little bit more damage output, and your abilities have a multiplier applied to them for threat. So the amount of damage and threat that they do is multiplied. And there are some abilities that have an extra multiplier, but I think baseline is like the more damage you do, the more threat you're generating, unless that ability has extra multipliers. And I think Vengeance Demon Hunters are still going to be the kings of DPS, because almost everything they do is a cleave. But then again, so is Blood DK. So Blood DK doesn't cleave on Death Strike, and that's about it, right? Everything else that I do is cleaving, and Vengeance Demon Hunters have something very similar. When I fracture or I shear, single target. Immo Aura, throwing down my fiery rune, or doing the fiery rune by my movement ability, and doing my soul cleave or my spirit bomb. Those are all AoE cleave things that I do. So at no point am I ever going to be wasting too much time or too many resources doing single target. So Vengeance Demon Hunters and Blood DKs, I think, are going to be the kings of AoE threat and pickup. As far as is the threat issue going to affect me, it depends on who you are. It depends on who you are and how you play the game. If you play in a guild and you have guild mates who you know, you get on Discord with when you do the hardest content, whether that's a Mythic +10, a +15, a +5, whether that's normal raids, heroic raids, or Mythic raids for you, whatever the hardest content is for you, if you have guildies or friends that you run with when you do that hard content, threat isn't going to be that big of a deal, because they're going to let you do the pulling. They understand that if they pull for you, you're going to yell at them on Discord, and you're going to tell them, hey idiot, you're going to die because I can't pick up threat. I'm trying and I can't, and you're all going to die now. So if you are completely pug, if all you do is run pugs, it's going to affect you more than the other person, because pugs are going to run ahead of you. Even just this guy running ahead of me right now, he could body pull because he is ahead of me. This guy over here, see, they're pulling that. You know, this guy over here pulled this threat over here. In order for me to snap back threat from this guy, it's going to be impossible. He's on a cannon doing a ton of damage. I can't snap back this threat unless I taunt. So it depends on what kind of content you run. If you run all your content with people who know you, who listen to you, who understand that the tank should be pulling, the threat change is not going to be that bad. Also, the threat change affects 5-man content more than it affects raids. So raids are normally one boss to maybe up to 3 bosses if we're talking about a council fight, and that's where you're going to be generating threat. Generating threat on one mob is not that bad, because you have the taunt there to be that multiplier, right? Your taunt has a really good multiplier. While your taunt debuff is up, that mob generates extra aggro on you. So single content, raiding content, not going to be that bad. When we talk about 5-man content, where you're running Mythic Plus, where you might need to kite because it's Necrotic week, where it's going to be raging and bolstering, where you're going to need to do this, where you're going to need to run away from these mobs, that's when the threat nerf is really going to hit you. However, if you play with people you know, they can tricks of the trade to you, they can misdirect to you, they can help you out. But if you're running with pugs all day, who pull for you, who pop every single DPS cooldown as soon as the pull starts, it's gonna suck, and it's not going to be that easy. And it's not so much gonna be, well, you're a shitty tank, you suck. It's the inability to round everyone up, to generate the same amount of threat on everyone, the inability to cleave everything because one mob might be over here hitting this guy all the way off to my right. Like, a lot of these things are going to be affecting you more if you do live that pug life. And specifically in 5-mans, if you live that pug life and all you do is pug normal mode raids, it won't be affecting you too bad because, again, bosses are going to be easier to pick up with that taunt debuff. Demon Hunter was super chill again. Sigil, 100% better than Gorskin Grass. Yes, I think Demon Hunter is going to be in a very good spot. I need to get the hell out of the way. That cannon is going to nuke me. I also need to move here. Don't stun me. Don't stop my heart. Am I using the Voracious Talent? Damn it. I don't think so. No, I'm using Bloodworms right now. Bloodworms is really helping me out with pugs because every now and then my healer will die to whatever mechanic, and the Bloodworms are going to be helping if I'm maintaining a much lower average health pool than Voracious. Voracious is going to help out more if you are running higher level content with people who are understanding the mechanics, but since all these things are brand new, not everybody's understanding the mechanics. I'm running Bloodworms to keep me alive. Since your guild isn't raiding Antorus, we're doing Legion raid achievements. Oh, nice, man. You got that mount. Very nice. Congrats. You wish Tricks of the Trade gave a 10% damage increase like it used to? Yeah, that was a dangerous life we were all living back in the day when Tricks of the Trade used to give a damage increase, because some DPS would take Tricks of the Trade. But that was also back in the day when you had Blessing of Salvation, or when you had on a warrior you had Vigilance that would instantly reset your taunt. So you could throw that on a DPS and then salve him as well and make up that difference. But you know, we don't have that salve anymore. I don't believe things like disengage and fade do what they used to anymore. So a lot of these things, a lot of that toolkit that we used to have doesn't exist anymore. So we need to be careful if they put Tricks of the Trade back to give that DPS increase. Alright, let's do another heroic. Hopefully we get another upgrade and we'll run into a mythic. We're going to be 24 item levels lower for a mythic, but we've done that before. So one more heroic and then we'll jump into a mythic and see how we fare. I haven't ran any mythics on this guy. I've been trying to really gear up via heroic, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, hopefully I get a shoulder increase. Look at this. I'm item level 316. My weapon, 285. That's terrible. That's really terrible. Gotta get food. You hop into beta for sure, man. Get this druid up to snuff. Are you max level yet, nerds? Did you hit 120? 120 is not too bad. I also have another video that I was working on yesterday where I'm gonna start releasing more content that's gonna unfortunately be a little bit more spoiler based. So the next one that I'm gonna be releasing for you guys is which zones I like the best in terms of leveling and storyline and how I rank those. Because since we have level scaling for leveling, you can go to any zone and level up that way. Well, if you're Horde, you can do any zone in Zandalar. If you're Alliance, you can do any zone in Kultiras. So those are really going to be impacting you, and so you should. I'm going to start releasing a lot more of that content that is going to have those spoilers. All right. I've been trying to stay away from spoilers as much as I can now, but at this point, things are starting to get finalized in BfA. You know, pre-patch is out in the PTR, so I think in 2 weeks, that's going to go live. I think the first week of July, we're going to have pre-patch go live in Legion. And yeah, then at that point, it's all just going to be BfA stuff. There was still a few things that I wish I could have made videos on with Legion, but you know, not enough time. Sometimes these guys become immune to interrupts by getting thrown inside this inside that bubble, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating when they do. This guy right here, let me stun him now, because that fire on the ground, it's intense. That fire on the ground is not only is it intense, it's also kind of difficult to avoid when you have, you know, 5 people running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Alright, also a really good thing is that while you have your Death and Decay up, your Heart Strike does a really good cleave by cleaving up to 5 targets. You know, there's a lot of bonuses that you get just passively, just by doing the things you should be doing as a DK tank. I need to get them the hell out of here. That fiery enchant, can I interrupt it? Nice. It's the augurs that are doing that big AoE, by the way. Terrible. What weapon do I have? I have a weapon that was from a world quest. It is item level 310, 315, 315 in Warforged. So yeah, I have a. This was from a world quest from going inside of a dungeon. As far as the weapon, I have a Transmog to. It is the Blaze Grease Greatsword. I don't remember where it comes from. I do definitely like this Transmog. The actual gear itself, the helmet, chest, and shoulders are from BfA. You get them when you hit max level and you start unlocking world questing. After you unlock world quest, you have to unlock the flight paths in the opposing continent. So they send you to the opposing continent to do kind of like a war campaign. And part of that war campaign is where I got this this gear. So yeah, the helmet, the shoulders, the chest are all from BfA. The belt is also BfA, but I think that's it. I think the other pieces are old pieces. But yeah, I definitely like this grunt look. I look like an orc grunt, standing upright too. Loving it. Are there any talents that you think still need some tweaks to make them viable? Ted, I do. If we're talking about Blood DK specifically, I think their new consumption talent could use a little bit of love. And I think the last tier is also one of those tiers where it could use something else as well. Since DKs have their active mitigation tied to using Death Strike, and we know how important active mitigation was in Legion. Now, I don't think it's as important in BfA. I don't think there's AM checks like there was in Legion. Like in Legion, there was a few bosses that would check you, right? If you didn't have active mitigation up, they put an extra dot on you. I don't think that happens in Legion, but there's a few abilities that I feel could use that rework, so that especially like, what is it called, Bone Storm. I think Bone Storm should apply a passive active mitigation to you, at least an active mitigation check, just in case those mechanics are still on. Now, if those mechanics are still completely gone, I think those talent points are fine, because I was using Bone Storm while leveling up, and Bone Storm is perfectly fine when we talk about leveling content. When we talk about content that I overgear, content that I have no reason to worry about if I'm gonna just get one shot or not, Bone Storm is fine. Red Thirst is good as well. It's kind of like the equivalent of anger management, but I think Purgatory offers so much more for progression. So much more for progression. So I think, yeah, there's definitely a few ones that come to mind. Consumption is the big one. Consumption, do we not have any pools? No. Okay, we ate all the pools before this transfusion went out. The big one that comes to mind is that consumption. It's just not good. Rune Strike is interesting. Heartbreaker, I would need to run logs on. I think Heartbreaker could use a little bit of a buff. But yeah, Rune Strike seems interesting. What else do we have? Rapid Decomposition is a pretty good one. I think Rapid Decomposition, if it gave the old chess piece, if it gave all of the old chess piece, it'd be a lot better. Oh no, they picked up all of them. Give me this one. Okay. So Rapid Decomposition is similar to that old chess piece that we have, the legendary chess piece, but it doesn't heal you for the amount that Blood Plague ticks for, which I don't think it would be game breaking to give you a little bit more of that healing. So yeah, I think that one can get a little reworked, but besides those, I think everything else is fine. I'm not crazy about Wraithwalk being a talent point, but I understand why it's there, because we now have Death's Advance, right? And we now have this ability that maintains us, keeps us steady, 45-second cooldown, 30% boost. You know, it's nice. What healer do I feel like is the strongest right now? I would say Holy Paladin. Holy Paladin has got the advantage. Holy Paladin also gets some really good choices, by the way. They even have a talent right now where they can kind of become a disc priest, where every time they do a damaging ability, they do an AoE heal. So I would say, well, actually, I would say between Holy Paladins and priest, either disc or holy, either one of those two, they both do really, really good healing. I think those are the two top healers. I don't see too many shaman healers. That's the class I see the least. Which is a shame. I think shaman healers do offer a good amount of utility to your tank that isn't as obvious. You know, increasing your health pool by 10%. They're, you know, offering totems for people. I think they have a few. They have benefits that aren't as obvious, and I think maybe that's why they're underplayed, is because they're not as obvious in the meters. You know, they're a little more passive. The emissary quest for 340 weapons. I haven't gotten an emissary quest for a 340 weapon. I've gotten emissary quest for like really bad green weapons, but I have not gotten emissary quest for a 340 yet. Maybe it was added. I'll check after this to see if I do have one. That'd be nice. Gotta spoil it like week old milk left in the garage during time. Oh no. Spoiled milk is one of the worst things. Alright. Did I use Avenging Wrath in my plus 10? I didn't get to interrupt that. What do you mean, did I use Avenging Wrath in my plus 10? I haven't ran a plus 10 in the beta yet. I've only ran a plus 2 and a plus 3, and both of them were with a Prot Warrior. Did we pull that? No, okay. Two Demon Hunters, no CC on ad, really? Yeah, I looked down to read chat. I mean, it's partly my fault too. You know, as a tank, I have a short interrupt as well. All right, perfect timing on Rezan, like padding around here. We get him immediately. So I want you guys to see my threat, to show you guys like how good Taunt Blood Drinker is as an opener. 4,000, 2,000%, 1,000%. There's an invisible one there. Now it's 800%. Like, maintaining that threat was no issue. By the way, they did fix the LOS issues on this boss, and now you can LOS around the other pillars, like in the middle and stuff. But I've gotten so used to doing it around the stairs, I find it to be the easiest around the stairs. Also, around the stairs, you avoid the bone piles. There's only one bone pile right here as soon as you get here to the stairs. So I find it so easy to stay by the stairs. Only 10 and 11 plus you saw was Shakib, some group. Oh, they already did a 10 and 11 in the beta? That's pretty damn cool. Yeah, I've only gotten to a plus 3. Tell you what, Nerds needs to level up his 120, or level up his Druid, get geared up, and then me and him can start pushing some higher level keys. There's honestly not enough people I know that are playing the beta and gearing up in the beta to actually be running high Mythic pluses. I'm also really trying to just finish off all of the tanks, but yeah, there's not enough people that I know that are grinding this. Nice. I got a new trinket, 325. 1 item level bump up. Perfect. They got a plus 12. Grip and Blood Drinker. I don't know if Grip applies the same, increasing threat generation by 400%. Oh, so it's exactly the same. So yeah, it's exactly the same. I hit the wrong thing there, the wrong key binding. So yeah, grip and blood drinker would be the same as well. Is Shakib also still just doing Demon Hunter in the beta? I know Demon Hunter is his specialty, and that's what he prefers sticking with. But has he tanked on anything else, or is he sticking with his Demon Hunter? Demon Hunter is in a very good spot. I don't, I wouldn't blame him for just saying I'm gonna stick with my Demon Hunter. They're very, very fun to play. They're actually really fun to play in Live Legion as well. But yeah, every now and then, like the whole legendary thing kind of gets in the way, but they're still very, very fun to play, and there's not that many changes happening to them. There's few changes that are happening to them, dumbing down the rotation a little bit, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It makes the barrier to entry for a high-level Vengeance Demon Hunter a little bit easier to achieve. So dumbing down the rotation a little bit and simplifying the way that you consume charges or fragments. Yeah, he's still rocking the Demon Hunter. Alright. Let's do our faithful opener here. I also need to be in charge of interrupting this cast, which happens the first leap and then every 8 seconds after that. So he's never going to leap. Oh no, they're spamming the totems. We need to kill them all within 30 seconds. So if your interrupt is on cooldown, the boss will never cast his noxious stench. So now that my interrupt is off of cooldown, he's gonna cast it again. So he's nice enough to wait for your interrupt. Yeah, they need to split their DPS. We're about to take down another totem. Oh guys, next leap he's also going to need an interrupt, and he's gonna go way over there. Let me go ahead and catch up to him. My job as a tank is mostly to keep him interrupted, not necessarily to do damage. I don't think these totems are going to go down at the same time at all. We're about to have another one go back up. This one's at full now. We need to switch. Next leap, he is going to do his Noxious Stench. Let me do that interrupt. We're about to get another totem go back up right now. Yeah, this is not going to get very far. Unfortunately, this is not going to get very far. So, let me DPS this brand. Oh no, I need to catch up to him. Interrupt, interrupt, interrupt. There it is. Alright, so that totem is at a decent amount. Let me go ahead and beat up this totem. Interrupt is still... Somebody is saying that we're making slow progress in the group. And it's like, but it's because we're not killing the things. Interrupt. You know why he doesn't tank for Mythic? He lives... Yeah, I know that's why he doesn't do tournaments. He was going to do the MDI, but Canada had some weird law that he couldn't. So, yeah, he's a very, very good Demon Hunter. Probably the #1 Demon Hunter in the world, because he's always pushing the highest keys in the world. So, I would say he's the #1 Demon Hunter in the world. But it's a shame that he can't do competitive things because of where he lives. You know, I'd imagine we live in the age of the internet. There it is. We can activate the boss now. I imagine, you know, we live in the world of the internet where he can connect to any server he wants to. So why is he limited? But, you know, unfortunately, rules and regulations. Let's get that interrupt off. You want that Noxious Stench to only get that one debuff off on you. There's no way to avoid the one debuff on you, but you can minimize its impact by only having one. Maximum is 3 stacks if you just let it go off all the way. So you can reduce that damage by 66%. There it is. Get that interrupt. One thing that I do wish that they did in the game is, you know, for Demon Hunters, whenever they do an interrupt, they gain their resource. I wish they did that with every class to incentivize anyone in any group, any pug you have, anything that you have. Anytime someone interrupts, they gain resource. I think that would work really well with everyone, because then everyone would fight to interrupt. Right now, you know, when you pug, you're in a situation where no one wants to interrupt. You know, no one wants to spend that time casting that interrupt, even though it's off the global cooldown. No one wants to do it. But if you incentivize them, then people have a reason to do mechanics. And you shouldn't have to incentivize people to do mechanics, but unfortunately, you know, sometimes you have to. He's with them today. Mythic got him there too. Oh, really? Oh, is he? He's not participating, right? He's just kind of physically there. Okay. So for this boss, since we're doing heroic mode, we don't have one ad. We have all 4 ads. So hopefully, everybody runs away when we have to on this boss. So here it is. People need to run away. There's one person relatively close over here. I hope that he kills his own little apparition there. That's the skewer. That's going to be pure magic damage going out on me. There's the racking pain. I interrupted that. That's the only thing you can interrupt on this boss. It's a random cast where he just hits someone with shadow damage in the group. So here's skewer, the magic damage on me. That's like a good, I don't know, 10 to 12%. Not too bad. I'll use AMS for the next one so we can see if AMS does a full absorb. It should. Here's my interrupt of that. And here's a skewer, AMS. Almost a full interrupt. Not completely. I still got hit by a little bit of that. So here's the soul run going out on everyone again. We're almost at half HP for this boss. Here's a skewer. Let's just go ahead and death strike right after that. Let me use a rune tap for this next one. And there it is, rune tap. Not too bad. Damage isn't too bad at all. The damage that I take is a lot higher on things like my warrior. Alright, let's just go ahead and use blood drinker here, and that interrupt before it goes off. There's that skewer again. Here's the soul rend. Hopefully everybody kind of runs away and they don't tunnel. Let me just run into that mob there. So where's everybody's ads? Okay, the ads are very, very far away. We don't have too much of a danger of running into people. I did stun that ad just in case. Just in case it was going to get a little bit closer while I ran this guy out, but we didn't have to worry about it too much. Nice, we got another piece of Azurite gear. Another upgrade. Now, time for a Mythic. We can run this one on Mythic too. This is probably going to be one of the easier Mythics because there's not that much that changes. So 10 item level upgrade. Very nice. Let's get our new traits. Death and Decay impales enemies with bone strikes and healing me. Okay, I like that. A little bit of damage, a little bit of healing. Don't Demon Hunter get buff for interrupt? Yes, they do. Which is why I mentioned that Demon Hunters are the only ones that get the benefit from interrupting. I wish it was for every class. When I take damage, I heal for this. When I'm dealt damage... Oh. Let's take this one. Let's take that spike damage one. Nice. And let's transmog this helmet because that's how it looks right now. So let's do that. All right, time for a Mythic. Let's see if there's any groups already. Mythic +7. Oh man. All right, those guys are doing big things. Let's all Desire. Mythic. Let's list the group and let's start flying over there. Check emissary. You're right. You're right. This is 500 Azurite power, 335. Nice. And I just need to complete one more of these quests. Okay, let's do that. Let's go kill this guy. I don't know who that guy is. Let's go kill him. That's gonna be a 20 item level upgrade. Thank you for that, Matney. I swear to you, I was on earlier this week leveling up, and my 2 current emissaries were Azerite power, which is why I didn't even complete this one. I did 3 out of 4. I left it because it was Azerite power. I guess it there was a server reset this morning, right before we started streaming. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. That's going to be a big upgrade as well. 335 is going to put it almost at that Mythic 0 level. What helm is this? Putrid Path? Putrid Path. So I can get rid of this one that's 265, Putrid Path. They do have the same talents. Let's see. Dancing Rune Weapon, and then this one. Yeah, Dancing Rune Weapon. Okay. Let's go do this thing. Oh, this is the guy that's underground, right? I think so. There's like a small hole in the ground somewhere. Was your eye level go up and go up faster than in Legion? The item level going up is about the same as Legion, to be honest. It's nothing, you know. I think in order for them to stop item level from going up that fast, they need to change the way the game works. The biggest reason why item level goes up super fast is because there are 4 difficulties. So there's LFR, there's normal, there's heroic, and there's mythic. They want to make each one of those difficulties better than the other one. So they need to also have 4 different levels of gear. So if they removed one of those difficulties, if they made LFR normal difficulty, then we would have, you know, 1/4 less item level creep. Sorry, I already have a healer. So there's I think the problem with scaling up so high so fast is the fact that every time they release a new raid, there's 4 different gears. There's 4 different gears, and they all are different item levels. They're all better than each other. You check world quests every hour? Man, what's your item level, Matney? Since you seem like you're playing the beta a lot. I check my world quests anytime I'm getting like a few upgrades, just to try to see if they're scaling up with me yet, because there's certain breakpoints where they start scaling up with you, and for some reason certain world quests scale up faster than other ones. That's gonna be a downgrade. Let's see who else we got. 353. Nice name, guy. Nice name. Where do I get my emissary cache? That's the other quest I already had. It might be in there anyway. Alright, let's do this. Let's fly over there. Try to get this weapon. 355, they're upping world quest faster than Legion did? Okay. Your item level 355 equipped. Man, you are killing it, my friend. Let's go to the Great Seal, because I think the emissary cache for Zandalari Empire is inside the pyramid, right next to Nathanos. But we have enough people now to be running into this mythic, so they're all running over there. I'm only a short flight path away as well, so we're gonna get this Mythic 0 going. Haven't tanked a Mythic 0 on my blood DK yet, so we'll see how it goes. Should go well. I don't see it going bad at all. Are they the 2 people that are at the summoning stone right now are in war mode and non-war mode. I think that's something that needs to get looked at as well. World quest upgrade is instant now. Yeah, so while you're leveling, it starts scaling with you. There's no like relogging, nothing needs to happen, no like day needs to pass by or anything, nothing. You just get it. Oh, there's a server reset happening right now for a 1-hour maintenance. Rip. There's a Zandalari emissary. New weapon. Oh, and it Warforged to 340 and a taste mastery. Perfect. Let's go enchant this guy, or runeforge this guy. Server reset. Yeah, unfortunately. That really is going to cut our live stream short today, but they said an hour, so I'm going to restart the live stream as soon as I can. So unfortunately, we got nerfed by Blizzard, but I'm going to run that Mythic 0 as soon as the realms come up. So for those of you guys who are joining me and did join me, thank you guys. Unfortunately, we're getting hit. We're getting hit with a little slap by Blizzard, and we'll be back. So sorry, guys. Not much I can do about it. But we'll be back in an hour. Let me runeforge this. Also, I think the rune forging for stone skin, I don't think it's necessary for DKs, but it'd be nice if it also just passively increased threat, just like a 2% threat generation. See what I mean? Time for live. I actually haven't logged into live in a bit. We can run some Mythic Plus. First, I need to get a key. All right, we'll do live. We'll do live. Any chance Prot Warriors are going to be competitive in Mythic Plus? Will the meta be Blood DK for top tier? Yeah, for top tier, it's going to be Blood DK, Pally, and Vengeance Demon Hunters. Yes, I thought you had written Guardian Druid in there. So, yeah, we'll go to live Legion. But yeah, I think the top will be Blood DK, Pally, and Vengeance Demon Hunter for sure. As far as our warriors going to be competitive, in terms of like MDI and trying to get that competitive kind of scene at the very, very top end, not so much. But you're still going to be able to get your plus 10, your plus 15 done with your Prot Warrior. I don't think there's going to be anything wrong with a Prot Warrior, but just like right now for Prot Warriors, we don't see Prot Warriors in the MDI. It's just going to be the same thing. Why Pally on the Mythic Plus meta, Admiral? So Pally has really good mitigation. They have really good blocking with Redoubt. Paladin also has the range silence by having that Avenger shield. Paladin Mastery is really, really good now, reducing damage from any source, whether it's physical or magic. And also increasing your block chance. They still have not reworked blocking, but they're going to. So blocking is going to become even stronger. So Paladin Mastery is going to become stronger than it is now. The Redoubt talent point is going to become stronger. Let's jump over to BfA. I mean to Legion. Unfortunately, getting nerfed by Blizzard. So yeah, the Paladins are going to have a lot of that kit. They also have decent mobility by having Divine Steed. Good self-healing as well. The amount of damage taken in by a Prot Pally right now in the beta is not... It's at the average, from average to below average. So the amount of damage they're taking is really good. Their AoE threat is good. They have the ability to get those ranged interrupts off by throwing that Avenger shield at the right time. They also have the really good self-healing. They have really good mitigation for all forms of things by having their mastery reduce all incoming damage. They also have amazing block with Redoubt and their actual mastery. Brewmaster's looking real good. Could be the underdog for MDI. The thing is, Brewmaster is really good for progression, but when we talk about stuff like the MDI, I don't think Brewmasters are really capable of excelling in that MDI scenario. Pally's attack animation are just boring compared to Prot Warriors. You take less damage too with your warrior compared to your Pally and Beta. Have you been running Redoubt? And also, is the quality of your shield equal on your Paladin and on your warrior? Because the quality of the shield is also going to be impacting things a lot now. Alright. Let's log into my warrior. I haven't logged into my warrior in a long time, guys. It's been a while. Let's see. live warrior. Also, I need to enable sound in game. Beacons are just OP. Yeah, no problem, Admiral. Does Demon Hunter still have the AoE grip? Yeah, it's still a talent point that needs to be picked up. Nerfed, but yeah. Their Sigil of Chains got nerfed. Was it the cooldown of it? You were leveling them almost at the same time, and bolster is really strong. Feld, are you talking about the new bolster? The one where you pop last stand and you block everything? Because I agree with you that this new bolster, very strong. The old bolster that boosted up your armor a little bit, compared to how much strength you had, I didn't like it. I disagree with you that it was very strong. Range of mass script is nerfed. Oh, okay. Also, one thing to keep in mind, Feld, is I've done leveling with every class actually. I also did Brewmaster Monk a little bit, but I've done leveling with all of them. And once you hit Endgame, once you hit that 120 and you hit those heroics and mythics, that's when you really start seeing discrepancies in the tanking classes. And while my Pally normally while leveling was taking a little bit more damage than my warrior, once I hit that max level and got a good shield on my Paladin, that amount of damage went down. Using Redoubt, having a really good shield with good block value on that Paladin just reduces that amount of damage taken by a very significant amount. Also, once you start getting that higher end gear, having a higher base armor, warriors are always going to have higher armor than paladins because of Vengeance, your passive trait, what used to be defensive stance. You know, it scales with your strength as well, so you're always going to have a little bit more armor than a paladin. But paladins just have overall more mitigation. You have more mitigation in terms of while you have shield block up and just more armor. But the overall mitigation, a paladin can keep Redoubt up 100% of the time. It's no question. You stack that with also having Shield of the Righteous up a very, very decent amount of the time. There's just a lot of things that they can have that warriors do not have. All right, guys, I have not logged into Legion in a while. In fact, I don't have keys. I don't have anything. I don't think I have a chest waiting for me. Hey, I do have a chest waiting for me. All right, let's go collect the last chest I was getting. Oh, rip my FPS. All my add-ons are loading in, and they're all out of date, so they're all probably causing Lua errors, which is making my FPS just completely die. I'm playing this on a Super Nintendo, guys. That's the truth. Some other exciting news that I have for you guys. It's a little bit more meta rather than things that are actually in the game right now. Thanks to all of the patron supporters, I have not withdrawn any of the amount that Patreon has, and thanks to everything that Patreon has given to me, I will be able to upgrade my rig next month. So next month I'm gonna start shopping around for a new rig to have to play WoW in. And this rig that I have now, it's a little bit old. So shout out to all the patron supporters. Thank you guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to have that video of that new rig whenever I get it. Whenever I get it here, I'll have a special thanks and unboxing for the patron supporters. Nice FPS. Thanks, Jerry. I think it's all of my out of date add-ons just causing errors over and over and over again. All right, what's in here? How high is my keystone in here? Haste, Mastery, and Avoidance. Oh, I have a 14. Very nice. Also, the weak auras look so much nicer when I don't have that default UI. The default UI bars take up so much space. Oh man, all my weak aura packages, as soon as I import them to beta, they look a lot more cluttered because of the big old bars as well. I don't want to equip that. I don't want to get rid of my 2 set. All right, let's go. Wait, what are the affixes this week? I'm a noob when it comes to Legion right now. Bursting, skittish, tyrannical. That is not a fun week at all. That's not a fun week. This is what live looks like. I didn't even have a live subscription for a week because I've been busy on that beta. Thank you, Felipe. Thank you. Make sure to dodge all the Goombas. I'm trying on the Super Nintendo. Gonna get the new Ryzen 2 2700X. A lot of the Ryzen stuff that's coming out right now is looking real nice. The good part is that for WoW, you don't need a top-end PC to do very many things. But when you're playing WoW and streaming and then trying to record at the same time, that's when things just start boggling down. Oh, guys, you want to see a cathedral key? You guys like rib keys, right? Oh, I'm so rusty. I'm used to ignore pain being slow as hell. All right, 15 cathedral. Let's get a rib key. Gonna look at an origin PC. I'm not sure yet. I need to start shopping around and start seeing what's really going to be good for me. Because as much as GPU processing power is the thing that a lot of people are really focused on, I don't need as much GPU as, you know, I don't necessarily need to run 4K, you know, 200 FPS. So when I'm shopping around, CPU processing power is also a big factor to me, since I am streaming to you guys, and getting that stream going is a little bit more CPU intensive rather than GPU intensive. World of Warcraft is not heavily GPU intensive, so I need to have something that's a little bit more of a balance between CPU and GPU, rather than something that just has the best video card of all time and then my CPU is suffering a little bit as a result of it. So I'm gonna need to get a nice little half and half thing going. Let's see. How am I gonna hit for like 5,000 here? Guys, this damage is insane. Who approved this damage? This damage is this damage would not fly in BfA. Oh man, I forgot how fast Legion feels. Why doesn't BfA feel this fast? Thank you, Felipe. Thank you. Buy a new monitor as well. It doesn't matter if you have a new PC if your monitor can't handle it. I agree, Jerry. That's why I waited till I had a little bit more in that whole Patreon bucket. I guess is the best way to put it. I waited till I had a little bit more than what I needed for just a PC, because my whole setup is very old. My PC, I want to say, is about 9 years old, but when I bought it, it was top of the line, which is why it's lasted me this long. And my computer is, my monitor is actually a TV that I used to use. So when we talk about refresh rates and stuff like vertical sync and just, you know, how many hertz I'm pushing through, this isn't that great. This isn't that great because it is a TV. It's not necessarily a performance monitor. Am I going to keep my old PC as a streaming rig and my new one for actual gaming? That's what I'm considering, Feld. What I'm considering is keeping this old PC for streaming and for rendering. So this PC can handle rendering all of my videos perfectly fine, and it can also handle streaming fine. You don't need a heavy PC for streaming. I just need to empty out some space that's to the left of me, so some space that you guys don't see down here. There's just a lot of junk there, and so if I empty that out, I'll have enough room for it to be a streaming PC and also be able to swap over for it to be rendering, because as of right now, this PC that I'm using is also the PC that I render on. So when I'm pushing out a video to you guys, I record, and then once I hit that render button, the 1 to 2 hours to 3 hours, however long that video project is going to take to render, I'm unable to get more footage. I'm not able to do much on my current setup when it comes to producing more content. So hopefully once I get that new setup, I'll be able to push out more content, because while things are rendering, I can still, you know, be playing WoW, be thinking of the next idea, be crunching numbers, doing whatever it is that I need to do in order for that next script to go live. Bursting Skittish Cathedral. Yep. Wait, it's also tyrannical, isn't it? Yeah. Bursting Skittish Tyrannical Cathedral. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Feld, thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. That does mean a lot to me. Thanks for the 10, man. I think you get a Dancing Baby Boomkin as soon as Stream Elements picks it up somewhere above me. Thank you. WoW is so much more CPU bound plus rendering and streaming. You'd think the new Ryzen 2s would fit the bill. I agree, Matt. I think the CPU processing would be there. Also, when running add-ons, when running things like my weak aura packages, there it is, Stream Elements. Thanks for that. Thank you. When running things that are intensive like that, that is RAM intensive as opposed to GPU or CPU intensive. So I also need to consider that. My current PC has 16 gigs of RAM, and I may take out one of those 8 gig sticks to add more to the new build, depending on how that shopping goes for that new build. So, you know, a lot of things up in the air. I haven't yet started really looking because I know that the more that I wait, the more that this the GPU craze is going to die down, the more that RAM is going to die down, because a lot of people right now are building their mining rigs, and crypto is on a bit of a downturn right now, so that's making GPU prices come back down to an acceptable level. So now that things are kind of getting to be acceptable again is when I'm going to start shopping and looking around and seeing what I could get. Doesn't it feel good to know that you can blow all your cooldowns at the same time whenever you want? Yes, nerds. I can do all sorts of things. Trinkets are not on the global cooldown anymore in BfA, but like I can use all these abilities and ignore pain and active mitigation and my trinket all at the same time. The only thing that limits me is how fast my fingers can click things. It's amazing. I'll see how fast the first pull feels. The one thing that I still have left to do in Legion that I just need to sit down and focus on is I want to solo Gul'dan. I soloed Elisand, I soloed Spellblade Alluriel, I soloed Chronomatic Anomaly, I soloed Trilliax. I want to solo Gul'dan because only one other person in the world has done it. I could be world number 2, and I got Gul'dan down. I did a few attempts on it one night. I got Gul'dan down to about 50%, which was way into the Berserk phase, and the only reason I died was because I didn't pop Spell Reflect at the right time. I overlooked. I was looking at some of the eye ads, so I can do it. I just need to sit down and like, why am I already bursting? Blizzard, why? This threat is gonna be sick too. I don't have Skittish. I can like pop cooldowns. I have Ignore Pain. My threat generation, guys. Don't go to the beta yet. No, it does, like, Ignore Pain just feels like it doesn't belong on the global. Also, one thing that I love about current live Legion is Warbringer. The Warbringer AoE stun doesn't exist in BfA. That sucks. I hate that. The Warbringer talent is the one thing that made us very competitive for Mythic Plus. Like, when you think about Mythic Plus and what your warrior can offer, Warbringer is one of those things that your warrior offers up really, really well. A non-diminishing return AoE stun on command, basically, with a few charges. You know, I think the loss of Warbringer kind of hurts. They gave us Shockwave to kind of make up for it, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Nerds, thanks for this. Thanks for the 10, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. It's enough for a new motherboard. Either way, just make sure the DIY mic stays with you. Yes, nerds. Thank you. I appreciate the donations, guys. Why did we pull these guys? Oh no, this isn't gonna be good. There's your Dancing Boomkin, nerds. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You guys always really help out and help support. Something else that is going to be coming to the channel eventually is YouTube recently rolled out a new update that when you hit 10,000 subscribers, you can partner up with Teespring, which is part of YouTube. I guess they have like a partnership going, but either way, I can actually put merch as part of my channel, like right underneath videos and stuff. So once we hit 10,000 subs, we'll be able to get that merch going. With 10,000 subs, I'm gonna have to design my own stuff, but that's not too big of a deal. We've done our own design work for all of the emojis here, so yeah, once we hit those 10K subs, we'll have merch as well. I know a few people have asked me about merch. Mohammed specifically has asked me, and I said, hey, when is merch coming? And once we hit 10K. Also, you know what feels nice is a spell reflect that does a decent amount of mitigation. But no, this warrior is a warrior that I've come to know and love. Look, and then the threat generation that I did there, I can just do this, and they're gonna run to me forever. I don't need to worry about this threat. Demonic mending, I hope someone interrupts it. They did. Me killing it on the healing meters. IP on the global slows down everything so much on beta. Yeah, the thing is, if they want to put IP on the global, I'm not opposed to it, right? But they need to do something else with it. If they want to put IP on the global, they need to change the way IP works. Because me wasting, or not necessarily wasting, me investing one global cooldown on ignore pain feels bad because the choice isn't fun. I'm not making any I'm not generating any threat at that time. I'm just trying to not die. I'm spending my rage. So if they want to put ignore pain on the global cooldown, that's okay, but make ignore pain, change the name of the move and make ignore pain do a little bit of damage. Make me do, like, even if it's less than a thunderclap worth of damage, make me do a little bit of damage so that I don't feel like I'm being punished by not generating threat for making these choices that I have to make. I need to stay alive. Ignore pain is part of my kit. It's necessary. We all know it's necessary. So don't make the choice suck. If you want ignore pain to be on the global because it mitigates magic and you don't want magic mitigation to be too strong, I get it. Make me do a little bit of cleave damage. Make my ignore pain, yeah, make it do something else that is worth the investment rather than ignore pain. It keeps you alive, keeping you alive since 2017. Like, no, make it do something else. If you want ignore pain on the global, make it worth the investment, because a lot of other tanks have that choice and their choices don't suck that much, you know. A lot of tanks have that choice for that defensive, and their defensive also has other things along with it if it's on the global. Alright, we're gonna get to skip a lot of this. Do we get a poly? No, we can't poly that. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Half of us made it, oh no, 4 of us made it through just fine. We got the monk over there. Come on. You'll get that YouTube plaque one day. One day. One day. Hopefully. First plaque is at 100K. Yeah, being able to do this stun with Warbringer, it just, oh man. Why'd you guys make me play live? Why did Blizzard have to take their realms down? I missed this. Yeah, if they took ignore pain off of the global, it would be fine. I understand that my tier set wouldn't be there, so my anger management wouldn't be as heavy. And I know that that's just this tier, you know. I didn't have that before. I didn't have that going into Night Hold. Wish you could donate. Oh, it's all good, Muhammad. Muhammad, you help out. You help out a ton. Muhammad over in Patreon, you are a Patreon legend, my friend. I hope you have seen your name on that banner. Let's do my good old Neltharian's Fury. And then like the new bolster talent has that baked in, you know, you automatically do the you automatically always block, so it's in effect kind of like a Neltharian's Fury last stand combination talent point, but I still miss my Neltharian's Fury. I miss doing the damage with it. Something I really liked with Neltharian's Fury was popping Battle Cry, doing Neltharian's Fury for AoE pickup. 100k, no problem. Me and 9 random butlers just make 100 accounts and sub to the channel. Yeah, that's the plaque. The plaque is 100k. Alright, time for a tyrannical boss. This guy hits hard. Let's pop Ignore Pain before, so they don't take away my rage before I run in there. And I use Demo Shout just right off the bat, generate a little bit more rage, keep my anger management going. There's the Timber Smash with that Demo Shout. Now we have all these ads. Hopefully we don't all just die instantly. Alright, let me pick up threat on this guy and slow him down a little bit. I'm gonna pop my last stand right now. I was getting hit pretty hard there. That Succulent Lasher, you just need to be careful with that Succulent Lasher when it comes to moments. There's a Timber Smash. I have a full Ignore Pain going. Can't touch me through this 6k Ignore Pain right here. You just can't. You just can't. You can try. My Ignore Pain's too much. We can pop last stand for the next one. Oh, actually, I have Demo Shout. No need. Demo Shout is more than enough with a full Ignore Pain. Our group is killing it, guys. Our group is really killing it. Making sure that Succulent was stuck to me. I was pretty damn sure it was stuck to me, but with the aggro change in BfA, sometimes it messes with my head. Alright, so this is the path. They're going to start going away. Start walking away, guys. Start walking away. Perfect. Hopefully we don't... Why do I have Tricks on me? Oh, man. Tricks is so trolly right now because in BfA... In BfA, people pull for you and they just tricks to you. They'll tricks to you and then just pull like a bunch of things, and threat generation has been nerfed, so the tricks isn't even as much as it should be, and then they're just doing all the pulling for you. Tricks of the trade right now is like, oh god, I have a group that's pulling for me. What's going on here? Alright, so this Temptress, I want to keep her at a distance. I want to be able to charge, interrupt her, but also I just want people to DPS her while we move on. Perfect. You just read an article this morning about OEM returning 300,000 GPUs back to NVIDIA. Right, yeah, I saw that. So I follow, if you guys are really into the computer scene, I'm a big computer geek, just, you know, aside from being a big WoW fanatic, I'm just a big computer geek. I like Linus Media. They put out a lot of really good videos, and they were actually talking about the whole NVIDIA recall, I think earlier this week. So yeah, there's GPU prices should start stabilizing and going down. Like, it sounds really weird saying this, but I should be able to pay MSRP for a GPU now, as opposed to so much above MSRP. Yeah, Linus, Linus. I like them. They put out really good content. The pull is a little too heavy for my liking for something like a bursting... Guys, I just realized this is skittish week. The amount of threat I'm generating isn't even that bad for it being skittish. I didn't even feel like it was skittish. Is that bad? Is that bad that I'm still generating more threat now than in BfA, which should be always on skittish? I haven't had an issue with threat this whole run. Let me stun this, and then pick up this guy. I'm about to Spell Reflect them. Let's see, Fell Bolt is going to go off right now. Let's get that Spell Reflect going. Perfect. I forgot it was skittish. I thought it was bursting and like something else. That's terrible. Linus Tech, yeah. I like Linus Tech. Good stuff, man. And we're all good until we get to the spider mini boss. Oof, man. That spider mini boss always does bad things to us. BfA is breaking you. That's what it is. BfA really does break you. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Going from lead, like a lot. I know. Oh shit! I didn't even look away. A lot of people are like, BfA is Legion 2.0, kind of. I really like the pace of Legion. I think one thing that Legion did amazing was the pace. And I don't talk about. I'm not talking about like how fast they release content. That was really fast. But the pace of combat in Legion was amazing. Everything just felt really fast, really responsive. When they added artifact weapons, at first I was like, I don't know about artifact weapons, and it turned out like I really liked my artifact ability. So all these things, the only thing I have to complain about Legion is legendaries. I hated it, and artifact knowledge at first was also terrible, but you know that went away pretty quickly. All right, let's jump in here. But yeah, I think Legion had a really good pace, and they're carrying over a lot of good systems from Legion, but they're also getting rid of the pace, which is unfortunate. I was really worried about BfA. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I first started playing the alpha, I was really worried about BfA. All I could think of was everything is on the global. Everything is so slow. I don't like this. But now they undid a lot of changes. They really did listen to the community. And here's one thing I'll say about Blizzard. They'll never admit that they listen to the community. They make changes, they put out patch notes that are exactly what the community was saying. But I don't think you'll ever see Blizzard go, hey guys, thank you to the community due to the community feedback on this thread, we are going to be changing this. They never say that specifically. But they did undo a lot of those really, really harmful changes. And I'm really glad. Really? Why? Why? I almost died. Ah. So yeah, I was really worried about a BfA at first as well. But now, not so much. Not so much. I see it. It's not too bad. They did undo a lot of like the class changes, a lot of the class nerfs. They gave us back a lot of abilities that our artifact weapons had. They also gave us back a lot of those legendaries in terms of talent points. There's still a few things that I think they should be changing, but honestly, it's not bad anymore. Even the global cooldown changes, not that substantial. Do I use Raider IO, and if so, what is my score? John, I did used to use it. I remember I wanted to break 2K, and I think I'm sitting at like 2.2, 2.3. I don't have the add-on. I don't have the Raider IO add-on, but I do use the website. So I think I'm sitting right above 2K somewhere. I think my average keys are 16s and 17s, and yeah, I think I've done 120. On this guy and on my Paladin as well. Alright, time to kite these guys. I always like kiting these guys down here a little bit because of that orb. So I build up threat for a little bit. Oof, that guy got dead. Alright. It's bursting. I would like to take these guys away. Blizz be trolling? Yeah. Alright, they want to stay here. They don't want to run down. Alright, let's do it. It also feels really good to have the threat generation of Legion on my warrior, because I can run in and get my shield block off immediately. I can run in and just just start doing things immediately. I can start responding to things. I can feel tanky immediately. In BfA, you kind of have to build that up, right? In BfA, your threat generation and the amount of threat that you, your rage generation and the amount of rage that you consume has really weird values. It's not always equal. You can't just run in and do things, although they did change shield block so that you can now after a shield block, after a shield slam, but being able to charge and shield block before you even get up to the mob, it's a lot of little things. Legion Warrior, rest in peace, my friend. What's up, Brain Gods? Do I think the BfA launch will be as smooth as the Legion launch? Nerds, I think so. I think with the way that they're splitting apart the zones, doing the cross-realm zones, I think they're fine. I do think they are going to need some form of maintenance. I really do think that they are going to need that. But, who knows? I might be wrong. Their Legion launch was very smooth, and I think that's why they're confident in launching worldwide at the same time. So yeah, I don't think they're gonna have super huge big issues on launch. Some realm maintenance is going to happen. I think it's what mostly happens is there's always that one quest that doesn't have proper respawns. That one quest where everybody just camps a certain area. So I think they're gonna need to reset only to fix one quest. But once they do that, I think it'll be fine. I think in terms of like lag and not being able to log in, yeah, I think they've got that in the bag. I think they've learned a lot of lessons over the years. But I do still think there's gonna be one little hiccup, whether it's one little quest that doesn't have quest mobs spawning fast enough, something that people are camping in war mode or something. There's gonna be something that's breaking the servers. You can't predict every single problem. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There are way too many ads up right now. Alright, we got them. We're handling them. Nice. All the ads are down now. That was what, 4 ads? Not terrible. Let me run this guy over here. He's about to get to 100 energy. So I can get him a little closer. There it is. Blizz be trolling. Blizz is never wrong. Any good ideas is always theirs. Well, it's not so much that they're trolling. I think as a company as big as Blizzard, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Sorry. It's hard to say, hey, thanks to you guys, we made this positive change. Because then, from there on out, I think, certain people will always be like, you see, Blizzard, we have better ideas than you do. You always need to listen to the community every time. I don't care what the situation is. So, I don't think they necessarily give credit to the feedback, but they do listen to the feedback. I think it's important to make that distinction, that they do listen. How come I can't pick it up? There it is. You finally got Boomkin Best in Slot Lego. I still don't have those, man. 2 weeks before pre-patch. Yeah, I still don't have those. I stopped grinding those a long time ago. I really wanted to play a Frost Mage, and I leveled up a Mage completely in Legion. Hit 120. Got my first Legendary. It was one of the worst ones. And at that point, I was like, I don't feel like playing that much more now. Regardless, I'm not going to get the 2 best in slot legendaries. I'm never going to know my true output. I really need to farm all these legendaries. So, legendary system kind of killed Legion. Also, one thing to note, you're not allowed to delete legendaries from like your bags or anything. How are we going to do when BfA comes out? I need to character copy and see if we can actually transfer that kind of stuff. Because as of right now, I can't delete any legendaries. So that's going to be a problem because they're taking up a lot of space that I don't really want to keep. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright. Block a block. What else do we need to block? This guy? This guy. And we're good. Where? Yeah, Illidan. You can do whatever you want. We're done. We're done here. Come on. We were done. Shit. Oh, man. There it is. Jeez. No alpha. Max, we got booted off the alpha. They're doing a maintenance reset. So the title is alpha, and we were on our blood DK. We did heroics. We did all that great stuff. But we got booted out for maintenance. So when those realms come back up, we'll be good. So I actually haven't played live in a while. So we figured jump in live. What if they become heirlooms that last through Legion content? That'd be cool. That'd actually be really neat. You had the same experience with your Frost Mage. You got the gloves, and first you thought you'd see what the second one would be. Yeah. I really wanted to play that Frost Mage and see how good they were, because at like the Mythic 0 level, Mythic plus 2 to 5, I was doing real good. But, you know, trying to push that higher endgame content just wasn't happening. Did we get gear? Did we get gear? Oh, hey, we got stuff. Not an upgrade. We got stuff. Let's see if anyone needs it.
I am Aegrin, guardian of Tirisfal. I left behind this echo of my power as a safeguard.
Is anyone available to check to see if the beta is up?
I sense that the master of the Burning Legion.
I really want to knock out that Mythic. And what's up, Max? How you doing, my friend? John, let me actually check my Raider IO score for you, since you did ask. Let's go repair as well. Always have to repair after every dungeon. I never get in trouble for no repair in live. Level 45 on your vanilla Pally, Max? Hey, Max, are you ready for, what, in 4 months? 4 months and like 2 weeks? BlizzCon is going to be out? I think BlizzCon is going to be more about classic WoW than anything else. Beta still down? Got it. Alright, so not in that group anymore. Let me get my Raider IO score for you, John. I think like I'm at 2.2, 2.3, something like that. There's somebody else named 3 Stunders out in the world? I'm at 2.3. 2.3k, 2334. Alright, let's join another group. Let's get another rip key going. Let me also change the title of this live stream. So ready for BlizzCon? D4 is going to be the main topic. I think D4 is definitely going to be there. Do you think that they're also going to do Warcraft 4? Alright, had to change the title. Don't like being clickbaity, guys. Alright. 15 lower Kara. Ooh, lower Kara is gonna be tough with bursting. That's not gonna be fun. Lower Kara, tyrannical. You're gonna have what, shade? No, that's upper. That's how rusty I am with live Legion things. Warcraft 4 isn't gonna happen, really? They have to gate their announcements. So then, do you believe some of the hype where people say that there's gonna be an announcement for Warcraft Mobile? Do you think they're gonna launch? Do you think they're gonna launch either Warcraft 1 or 2 on mobile? All right, let's start heading over to Kara. I do think D4 is one of the best things that they can do, though. Appease the gods, get a rip key. Working on it, working on it. They are gonna have some mobile game. Do you think they're gonna resurrect StarCraft now? Do you think now's the time or another year? They acquired a mobile developer 2 years ago. Yeah, that's why a lot of people were speculating that Warcraft on mobile. Old school Warcraft on mobile. I'm also waiting for them to do their complete one client setup, right? You had the WoW Legion app, and then you also had the WoW Auction House app. They closed down the Auction House app. I'm waiting for their one solution that's going to include the old school Auction House app and the new Legion one for BfA. I'm just waiting for that. They need to resurrect Ghost and make it top-notch. A top-notch FPS. I agree. I remember when that game was going to come out, Nova. It was called something along the lines of Nova. When that was going to come out, I was pumped for that. That was the game I really wanted to see. Or yeah, the game was called Ghost, and the character was Nova. I think if they resurrect that Ghost FPS, they can get a lot of the people that went to Destiny and saw it fail miserably. They can get a lot of those people that want that sci-fi shooter RPG and bake it in there. They're gonna announce World of Warcraft Battle Royale, where everybody's a peon, you all jump down, you all have to cut wood, and then if you see each other, you can cut each other's heads off. Oh, is this guy? Someone's messing with some of their bindings, apparently. A brand new IP, WoW, the dating sim. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna fail that so hard. Charisma, -30. Hey, so what do you like to do in your free time? I like to play about 10 hours of WoW a day. What? Ugh. Alright, let's knock these guys out. I still remember how to do this. This is muscle memory. 2 years of muscle memory with Legion. I need to pick up these guys before they get to the other pat over here, or the other group over there, and just start getting out of hand for bursting. Just want to knock them out now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I love this, like, generating tons of rage, eating tons of rage. Feels great, feels great. Why would they do a WoW dating app when they have the Goldshire Inn? It's because they're fragmenting the servers with war mode. They need to unite everybody again. They're like, guys, this whole war mode thing, it split our dating potential in half. Not everybody wants to fight all the time. Make love, not Warcraft. Which route do I pick? The Jaina route, Sylvanas route, or the Chromie route? Choices, choices. You always pick the Sylvanas route. You either love me all the time. Sylvanas is, you know, you either love me all the time, or I will find a way and an excuse to kill you. It's, you know, it's lovely. It's passionate. That's love. That's true love. Did I see that Preach is back on the warrior bandwagon? DPS warrior. The video he made, I did see it. The video he made was about the DPS warrior. But yeah, he's also made the other. He made the video that he got a ton of shit for, which was warriors feel amazing when they were completely broken. So you know, the only thing I'll say is that every single class plays completely different once you get to Mythic, to the end game of whatever game you're playing. So in BfA, when I level up any tank, I can just, you know, I can do anything I want and maintain the whole pool, maintain everything, maintain threat, not lose a ton of HP, heal myself. Like leveling content is easy. It's no problem. Leveling dungeons, not a problem. Do they give you a feel of how the class is going to act? Not really. You can start working on the rotation, but even then the rotation is going to be so different, because even when I was running on my DK, I was using talent points that I knew I wasn't going to use at endgame. But I was using them for leveling because they're going to increase my DPS. They're going to increase my throughput. So there's a lot of things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing that leveling content, that's not how that class is going to play. And I don't think there's that many people grinding the endgame content. I don't think there's that many people playing the beta and seeing how are all of these classes going to compare if I gear them all out ready for raid. I need them all to be ready for the first raid, and once they're ready for the first raid, that's when I'm gonna make my distinctions. You can get a feel and you can get a semblance of how the class is beforehand. I agree. You can start understanding the rotation a little bit. You can start seeing like, okay, this is kind of how things are gonna work, and you can get like, I don't know, 70% of the way there. But in order for you to truly be able to like rank everything, in order for you to truly be able to see how every tank is progressing, gear it up like if you're gonna be running the raid, like fully finish that gearing up process. And that's not what a lot of people are doing. You read the new book Sylvanas Can Die in a Fire? So I heard a very long form podcast of some people over at a channel called The Lost Codex, and they basically broke down the book for me. And yeah, man, Sylvanas is a crazy person. Sylvanas is a crazy person. She definitely messed with a lot of emotions, a lot of things that maybe she should have cared about. But Sylvanas has always been the type to kind of demand loyalty rather than work for it. So it's not completely out of character. It just sucks that the Horde is always the bad guy. Horde is always the bad guy. Our war chief is it always has a giant target painted on their backs. It's getting a little old. I realize that Horde don't look like humans, that they don't look like how I look in real life, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. She's gonna fuck around again. Mutinied. Oh man, yeah, she's I honestly at this point what I feel what I know from BfA is that Sourfang is like the one guy who still is like traditional Horde. We're gonna maintain honor and integrity. We can't do shit like this. Even Nathanos has some semblance of it. Even Nathanos is like, Sylvanas, what the hell are you doing? So I honestly see an overthrow. I hope it doesn't mean the death of Sylvanas, because World of Warcraft isn't Game of Thrones. In order to make me feel things, you don't need to kill people I've known for 10 years every year. You know, in order to make me feel something doesn't mean you just need to murder people every time you're like, hey, they're asking for more feels. Let's just murder someone that they've known for a long time. You don't, that's not necessarily the only way to make me feel, but I hope that that's not the case. I hope that we're all just misreading things, and that it turns out that like N'Zoth is just everywhere, and it's all old god stuff, and no one had any influence over it. And once we get rid of N'Zoth, everyone's gonna be like, all right, cool. I'm a normal person now. I'm not just a complete ass of a person that's just gonna murder their own people. This big pull. Let me start getting some stuns in here, because these stingers, these singers. Nope, no Fire Lance portal. Come on. All right, we need to kill him now. Okay, we're good. Guys, with Skittish, it really does feel a little bit closer to BfA. Oh no, we're all gonna die. Can I live? Nope, we refreshed on a 9th tick. That's it. GG. Why did we refresh on a 9th tick? Let's shit. I thought my healer was gonna die too. Damn it. Sylvanas and Jaina are both bat crazy. Gonna go with Chromie, plus Chromie is a spinner. Yeah. Something new last you saw from him was hype for Fury. Yeah, that's the last I saw from him, was a hype for Fury. He did also say that he wants to main a warrior now because of that Fury. He's also mentioned that he's going to want to tank, that he hates waiting on tanks, so he's always going to, he wants to pick a class that can tank. So he also made a video maybe like, I don't know, 2 months ago or something, saying that the prot warrior felt really good, but yeah, a lot of things have changed. Warriors feel a lot better now. And in the last build of the beta, warriors did get a buff to ignore pain. It has 200% more scaling, so feeling better. Night stream, what buff do I have between food and defiled? It's haste. I run haste food. My haste right now is 33%. I try to get as close to 40% as I can within a reasonable amount. But yeah, it was haste food. Calumenethil Undercity for 2020. Oh man, they need a reser. As far as I know, her corpse wasn't res in any way, right? Next Horde War Chief, Gallywix? No. No, don't. Let's not. The only person who would be more selfish than Sylvanas would be Gallywix. 100%. Gallywix would go to the Alliance and go, hey, listen, I'll sell you the Horde for like 15 bucks and a burger. You can get me 15 bucks and a burger. The whole Horde is your... I'll give you this key. You can get into anywhere you want. I don't care. Everything is yours. Just 15 bucks and a burger. Come on. That's not bad, right? 15 bucks and a burger. You know, we got to. Man, we're killing things really messed up in this run, but our healer is amazing. This healer is putting in work every time our DPS fails to let the stacks fall off. It gets a little intense for me, but our healer just catches up. This healer's doing work. There's a new undead in town, not dead or alive, res by a human. Yeah, there's a light forged undead. I hope they don't just give every class over to the opposite faction. Like, I hope it isn't hey, Horde is getting light forged undead. I mean, Alliance is getting light forged undead. And then hey, Horde is gonna be getting this other type of dwarf, and just, you know, just for the sake of having every model in every single faction, they're gonna be doing that. I hope that's not the case. So this whole like light forged undead, I hope it isn't, you know, the new norm, and I hope it doesn't necessarily like this is gonna be Alliance. I want it to just be a reason and an explanation for why undead can be priests and be okay with it, even though it kind of hurts them every time they call on the light. That's what I just want it to be, that kind of reasoning, to be like, well, this is what they do. They're kind of attuned to the light in a different way. Well, in the new book, Sylvanas has always been about one thing, and that was sticking up for the Forsaken. Now she's messing up her own peeps, strangled her. Yes, I agree. The thing is, I think she's always been about sticking up for them, but when they were the underdog. So if you ever put the undead in a situation where they can stand up for themselves, or they can have equal footing, they can make their own decisions, then there's no reason for her to stand up for them as much as she has. So not only is she the defender of the undead, she has to be the defender of the undead forever. Like, she doesn't want to lose that position, so she has to maintain the undead as the underdog in order for her to be the person in power. It's just healer has 50% mana. We should be fine with 50%. So she has to kind of, you know, keep them down a little bit, a reasonable amount, so that they still need her representation. As soon as they no longer need her, that's when you start running into trouble. This rogue is bursting 4 million? Wow. That guy's impressive. Alright, we're just gonna Zerker Rage out of this Repentance. There's the Holy Wrath. There's the Interrupt that can go off. Alright, cool. This group is killing it. Let's get my Interrupt on that Holy Shock. You can't spoil what happened if others don't know yet. Yeah, the new book has it's an interesting story. It's definitely an I mean, I spoiled it for myself listening to the podcast where they break it down. Interesting story. I was expecting a different story. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was expecting to see more of like what we've seen that is going to happen in BfA. I was expecting a little bit more of Jaina going back home and kind of like the backlash with that, and how her mom is kind of like chewing her out. The whole Teldrassil thing. I was expecting to see other things. Instead, you just kind of get to see that Sylvanas is crazy, which kind of sucks. But if you guys don't want to, or if you guys are not big readers or anything, don't want to worry about any of that, you guys can go over to the Lost Codex. It's a YouTube channel, and I believe their second to latest video is like a 2-hour podcast where they talk everything about the book. It's basically, it's an audio book that they did, where they also put their opinion in there. I wanna catch up with chat, but then like these guys, I need to look at the floor. If I get hit by one of these magic hits, I'm going down. I probably won't die. It's not fortified. They're not bolstered, probably, or raging. I won't go down, but it's still gonna hurt a lot. Very unnecessary damage. All right, now we can. Thinking the Sylvanas will have to deflect, and she would take over. Yeah, I don't know. There's also going to be a lot of old god stuff in the game. I mean, you guys have already seen me run dungeons. There's a lot of tentacles out there. And even just doing the regular leveling up stuff, you start noticing things. Let's do that. No one else wants to trap anything else? Cleave strat? Oh, they want to cleave everything? All right, they want to just cleave everything. Okay. All right, time to cleave everything now. Oh, the rogue just died. Yeah, that's not gonna work out. Oh man, I need to pull it down. All right, let's do that. It was a felt refocuser buff you think that he was talking about? Oh, that I had that he was talking about what was in between my runes? The Horde would be given leper gnomes, if anything. Hey, I wouldn't mind that. Everybody likes lepers, right? In fact, we can all do a running of the leper gnomes as opposed to running of the gnomes, where we all go to an island because we'll have like a leper colony. Rib key? Not yet. Not yet. We have 19 minutes. All right, let's do that, and let me do this. All right, so Kira's getting nuked down first. She's gonna be doing the empowerment, which is going to be killer. Oh, actually, I think my healer went down. Healer is down. So now let's start breaking people out slowly. Unfortunately, healer's down. I don't have a cleanse, so I have to try to stay alive in these coat checks. It's gonna be the hard part's gonna be staying alive in those coat checks. So let's see. Do you guys think I could do it without a healer on a plus 15? Plus 15 morose. All right. I mean, I don't know. I guess our hunter doesn't have it. All right. So let's just start trying to mitigate as much as we can. We have enough of the green skins. Keep them, please. Hey, you don't want to do a running of the leper gnomes? Just in an island, like in what's the island called that used to be a bunch of elites? Back in vanilla, it's got like a gnome in there that's like a scientist. Dr. Weevil? Dr. Weevil's island or something like that? We can do the running of the gnomes on that island. The running of the leper gnomes. Alright, I think we're good. I think we can do it without a healer. My healing is doing alright. Even when I have coat check on, I'm doing okay. DPS is slowly dying, which is the part that kind of sucks. Hopefully we can push through this. 10 mil? Yeah, we got this. Easy. No rib key, nerds. No rib key. Alright, let's wait for everybody to get back here. And we'll keep pulling. Hunters and mecha pets are there. Yeah, they changed it though. They changed it. Actually, they changed it in Legion, didn't they? It used to be level 60 elites, and now it's like higher level elites or something like that. But they definitely changed the island. Pull one. Okay, we can pull one. Let's go. Oh, here it is. Healer's here. Okay, we're good. Healer is quick. I was not expecting healer to get back here that fast. All right, let's let these guys run to me. Look at that. It's so weird. People in Legion wait for pats to get LOS, and then every time I run BfA, everybody just runs into the mobs. Like, just the mob's over there. I'm over here. I need to go over there. That's what I need to do. And you just get body pulls all day. All right. We have bursting. We're gonna pull these 3 horses here. We got this guy here. Sorry that I'm moving the camera more than I used to. It's because this whole movement thing, it's so foreign to me now. I'm over moving now. Sorry, guys. We had the smash going out right there. Had to move over for that. The hunter said, boy, they like me. He went in completely before I was even able to LOS these guys. Alright, let's wait for a res. And we can pull the rest of these guys. Oh, my healer's a goblin. Let's see, we need more greenskins. Alright, there's the smash going out. The burst on these guys, or the burst on the rogue specifically. It's crazy. He's pushing MDI numbers. Yeah, I think ignore pain off the global in BfA would be just the one thing, the last thing that warriors need. They scaled ignore pain up a little bit more, which was something else I was also complaining about. You know, it just wasn't worth your time, the amount of scaling that they had. It was a very, very small heal. So they scaled that up by 200% according to your attack power. And now if they just get rid of it, get rid of the global cooldown on it. So I do want to be on this stable hand to interrupt that heal specifically. Get out of here, guy. No healing for you. Now we can just nuke everybody else. Alright. We got a stun off on that healing touch. And somebody else interrupted that one as well. So we're good. I'll interrupt that one. We're good. Last boss. How's my healer on mana? Well, you know, no need to rush the last boss. We have an extra 12 minutes. 4 minutes for the chest as well. So eat up. And we're good. Let's go. Also, our percentage is 91%, so after this, we are going to have to rush upstairs and try to do some of the pulls up there. Those pulls aren't really the best pulls. I would rather do the animal quarter, but I know most people like to do those other pulls. So we'll run over there. Alright, so there's Immortal Strike going out. For this, I'm going to pop Spell Reflect and Last Stand. Oh no, people are splitting it up with me. Okay, that's good. I always expect to have to solo it, because you can solo the damage. It's not too bad. Alright, let's actually jump out of here. Hey buddy, how's it going? Beta still down, Jerry? Thanks for checking for me. I appreciate it. It's going good. It's going good. How you doing, Brian? We're just knocking out some keys because beta got taken off right now. They were like, "What's that? You want to show everybody how a Mythic 0 works on a blood decay? How about not today? How about you don't? We still need to fix them. They're way too strong. Stop. You're making us look bad. Numbers changes happening right now. New build. Right underneath your nose." So yeah, nothing yet. Thank you, Jerry. Alright. Let's go knock out these guys up here. I'm not the biggest fan of these guys, but let's knock them out. They said go upstairs and pull everything. Beta's back up now, nerds? Oh, at least you're trying? Let me know if it is up. Alright, we got 2 minutes to kill a few things. Come on, come on. We do have bursting, so I was a little hesitant to pull everything, but 2 people said pull everything. There it is, 97, 98. Give me this last 2%. I need to pop shield wall. I'm going down. All the bursting. 8 stacks of bursting. Constant. Just not working out for me. I don't know why. 8 stacks of bursting hurts. Alright, we're good. We're good. Let's not kill everything now. We're just gonna die. Nice. 15 plus 2, right? Yeah, we got a plus 2 on it. Beat the timer. Oh, that was my best run too on a plus 15. Hey, we're getting stuff today. Don't need it. Let me see if anyone needs it. As beta is up now. Oh, okay, we'll switch over to beta. Let me hearth out of here. Go run that mythic on that DK. As enhance, you think that you're gonna have to wait for 8.1 for that IP change for the reason? The reason they had no idea what to do with routes. Yeah, they really didn't have any idea what to do with prot, to be completely honest with you. They were like, we don't like the way Ignore Pain works. Ignore Pain is too strong. We're getting rid of it. No, at first they made it like a rune tap. 60% of the incoming damage for the next 4 seconds. Instead, eats your rage, and it lasts 4 seconds. Every 10 seconds. And then they were like, you know what? We're getting rid of it. And they were like, all right, you know what? We're gonna add something. We're not sure what yet. And then they added bolster. And bolster just wasn't working. It was like a 6-second uptime. I have to invest 1.5 seconds of getting it up. I have to invest another 1.5 seconds. Like it just didn't work with the global cooldown changes that were there. I'm launching the beta right now, and it's probably gonna look really funky for you guys. Alright, let's do this. And that? Almost? Almost. And there we go. Alright, time to run this Mythic. Time for beta shenanigans again. What's up, Shagran? How you doing, my friend? It has been a while. They are comping from Diablo more and more. A little bit. Mythic Plus is exactly like Greater Rift. I agree. And that's not a bad thing. I like it. I like the fact that you can challenge yourself with the content. I like the fact that the only thing stopping you from doing more and doing better is you pushing the gear you have. After a certain while, it's not even I'm gonna get better gear. It's just it's a matter of I need to push my gear. All right, let's start a group. Atal Dazar, Mythic. Let's list the group and let's go over there. It's a winning formula. I agree. I agree. You want to keep people playing your game, give them a reason to grind. I think they should introduce the old school like rewards that they had for challenge modes in MoP. So since we're gonna be grinding Mythic Plus, when I get Keystone Master, I should unlock another armor piece. Especially now that there's no tier pieces, right? They're gonna design a leather, a cloth, of this, of that. They're gonna design less armor pieces. We should have more rewards for pushing that content. Give me a reason to farm, even if it's just cosmetic. I'll do it. I'll do it. You're on a quest where you're riding a mount with the female Zandalari, and your trolls is. Make sure to hold on tight, nerds. You don't want to fall. You just gotta tell the Zandalari, this is for safety reasons only. Okay, I just want you to know that. Oh, actually, I need to fly over to where Atal Dazar world entrance is. Let's do that. What do I think of the Feral Druid? I have not seen any kitties in my runs, so I don't know how they perform. I've seen boomkins, bears, and healers. I have not seen kitties. Maybe we'll have one in this run. Oh, I don't have the flight path. Befuddled, why do you do this? Let's go over there. While we get the group going for this Mythic 0, let's get over there. But yeah, I definitely think that stuff like Mythic Plus, getting Keystone Master for that season, especially now since they have seasons, right? You have oh, I guess it isn't here. But once I knock out a Mythic, it'll show that there is a Mythic affix for this season. Since they're adding seasons, we should also get seasonal gear. So if I get KSM in this season, I should get certain gear. If I get KSM next season, I should get certain gear. It'll make people push and try to do that endgame grind every season, and there's rewards for it. Just like there is in Diablo. In Diablo, everybody logs in at the beginning of a season, grinds out their season rewards, grinds out a greater rift to a reasonable level, and then, you know, some people stay with the grind, some people drop it eventually. But, you know, the season thing and having those limited rewards is something that is very good for your player base, I feel. You don't have the beta yet and you're thinking to main it in BfA. Oh, the Feral Druid? I don't know, man. I'd have to. Oh god, these sentinels. I'd have to I'm not a good kitty. It's a spec that I've never really played. So I wouldn't be able to tell you. I would be a very bad choice for telling you how they are right now. I would need to learn how to play them first, which yeah, I just never have. I don't know any content creators that main a kitty besides like Soda Poppin', but he's not playing WoW yet. He says he's gonna play for BfA, and he's going to be a kitty. So when BfA does go live, oh, I need to go up this way. When BfA does go live, you can see Soda Poppin' and see what he thinks about kitties. But for right now, don't really have much. Don't kill me. Why is this, Matney? Why is this? Nothing much changed. Change your artifact and that's it for Kitty? Okay. So I guess if you already like Kitty, then same thing. You are going to be getting hit a little bit with secondary stats as well. So if you're... Oh, that's you, Matney. What's up, man? Alright, let's see. Anyone else? Anyone else? Come on. Rip the dream. Farewell, kitties. Yeah, you're not going to be able to hit like the same levels of crit and haste and mastery and anything on any of your classes just because of the way BfA is. Just because Azurite gear has no secondary stats. Here's Matney right behind me. No one's logged in yet, guys. Let's do a /who120. Hey, there's plenty of people on. There's plenty of people on. We're recruiting, guys. We're recruiting for this Mythic 0. Anyone interested? Oh, Matney has the dinosaur mount. Matney, get back on that. Get back on that dinosaur mount, Matney. I want to see that again. Wait. Oh, you're Nightborn. I thought for some reason you looked like a blood troll the way you were standing, and I thought your feet were all severed in the middle. Look at this, guys. Matney did his grind. I have almost 100k. I've been selling my greens to people who buy greens in the beta. But Matney is killing it. Look at this. I can just go, hey, Matney, what's that? I need to buy a gem. I actually do need to buy a gem, right? I have something with a gem. Boots. Let's buy a gem off of Matney. Let's do a strength gem. Your alliance, so you can't help me? It's all good, man. I do not have 600,000 for a gem. You guys are a little crazy. Let's invite that guy. Any haste? Any haste gems that are not 500,000? Cool, never mind. Cool. Never mind. I don't have that kind of money. Matney plays WoW 28 hours a day. His main is 977 and awesome. His main is actually 1001 item level. Why does Blizz give you the emissary for that, but no... Yeah. I've picked up a few things like that. I've picked up a chest piece here. Where is it? That didn't have secondary stats? I don't know where the hell... Oh, right here. Doesn't have secondary stats. It's not Azurite infused. But where did you see that quest? Let's see if I have that good of a quest. Oh! Oh, but killing this guy is a pain. This dinosaur is for sure very difficult to do. There was a glitch earlier in the alpha, and I don't know if it still is around. There's a quest where you mount a Triceratops, and you actually can go around killing mobs for part of that quest. Well, this Triceratops doesn't dismount whenever you're done with the quest or when you leave the area. So you can ride this Triceratops that hits for a few million per hit all around the continent, and you can just ride around. How much money do you have? Oh wow, Matney, thank you for the money. I now have 300,000. I'm one step closer to 5 million. How so? Teach my boss. Yeah, I need to. You can ride that Triceratops and like kill things, and that's the one way. I rode around on that Triceratops and killed all of the elite mobs that you need to for a world quest, but I turned it in after, and I shouldn't have done that. So now on my warrior, I can't do that again. This guy delisted immediately. I still need to check one zone. So there's one upgrade pending for me on World Quest. And one potential upgrade. One guaranteed, one potential. Yeah, I think at this point it's mostly about grinding stuff out. Let's also set the dungeon to Mythic. Perfect. Summon some people. World Quest, that sucks. World Quests aren't that bad. I like them. I like World Quest. That World Quest is another thing that Legion added that's good. I don't think World Quest should be a focus. The reason why Legion World Quest left a bad taste in my mouth is because grinding emissaries was a good way of getting legendaries. The World Quests themselves and the emissary caches, they give you those extra rewards. Not too bad, not a big deal. I don't mind that at all. But the fact that like these legendaries were tied to it and your spec was so dependent on these legendaries, that's the part that sucked. That's the part that I was like, ugh, I hate this. Gonna see some monk damage in Mythic. Everything is better than the mop daily grind. I agree. The mop daily grind was like, hey, have you gotten your 50 daily quests for the day? You need to increase your rep with all these 20 reputations. By the way, we're introducing this new patch where there's a new rep. We are pointless now. World Quest? That's not true. I use them for upgrades all the time. And if they, so you know how they had World Quest do the whole thing where if you're exalted, well, that wasn't World Quest. If you're exalted, you get that extra cash. That's gonna be cool. But yeah, World Quests still have a point and a purpose. They're a passive way to solo farm Azerite power. You don't have to worry about a group. Is everybody here? Who's this? Syriax. Let's summon Syriax. I thought I ran over a cable. Alright, time for a Mythic 0. I am undergeared, I'm not gonna lie.
You are too late.
Somebody wants to know. Somebody wants to know the whole Lua thing, so I have to load that up and give it to them. What is my item level now in the beta? For my blood decay, this is my blood decay. I am 321. And Mythics drop 340s. So I'm 19 levels lower, which is not great, but with a good team, we can get this. Exalted Gear is 355, yep. 355 I believe is what Uldir starts at, right? Raids, Uldir, loot, 355 for normal, yep. So Exalted Gear gets you the first tier of gear. I think that's okay. I don't think that's broken or anything. Getting the first tier of gear, you'll be fine. That's how you grind it out. Go out, do World Quest, get Exalted, do some Mythic Zeros, and get all that gear that you need in order to run into Uldir. You're probably going to have like a month to do it. So yeah, I think it's reasonable. Oh man, since I was just tanking live on my warrior, I'm using the same keybinds and they are very different. Very different. Nice stun on that augur, by the way. We can't stun him now. He's inside that thing. I was able to get him out of there in the last second, so that was like one less tick. But yeah, when they're in there, can't do much about it. So damage done. Matney, you gotta show them all up, man. Now another thing that's important to know is that my healer is under geared just like I am, so gotta be careful. Very nice CC. If that was you, Matney, very nice CC. I appreciate it. That was good. That augur is about to go down before he can cast that. No, he got it off. Okay. So this Colossus is going to get healed up a little bit and buffed actually for every single mob that we kill before him. So we might wipe here just because of that. But I'm going to try to stay alive. So my damage taken isn't too insane. You guys also see my healing done is reasonable. What really happens in Mythic Pluses that's going to end up killing you is the fact that everybody is taking a lot more damage, not just the tank. I'm taking a little bit more damage, but that's not really the main of it. The main thing is the healer has to be able to heal me, and it's hard to maintain me. And then this Colossus is just gonna wreck me. There it is. Yeah, that Colossus is gonna destroy me. Most people can start with Exalted, at least one faction on 120. I agree. Yeah. Let's reset. Let's reset. That guy, look at that. You saw he was like ginormous. Yeah, let's let him reset. For the Horde, no way. Time to go human since there's a 25% discount. There is a 25% discount on services. If you guys do need to faction change, name change, race change, now's the time to do it. Also, if you guys are just watching and you guys have not actually played WoW in a little bit, this weekend is free WoW weekend. So if you don't have an active subscription to live WoW, you can play for free this weekend. So you can hop back in there, get on all your characters, gear up or level up a little bit, get ready for the BfA grind. Human race will own because of the Exalted. Yeah, for the first tier. I don't think it's gonna be too crazy for all the other tiers. That's fine. We have aggro on that guy, but since he's CC'd, I'm not gonna worry about him right now. We have to worry about killing this Colossus first anyway, which, you know, we'll see if that happens. Nice, Colossus is down. Now the augurs are gonna go down, and I can avoid most of that damage. Okay, perfect. Let's interrupt that augur a little bit. All right, now the other confessor came over here, but that's okay. I think we should be able to survive this. Gonna pop my Vamp Blood here. Gonna heal up a little bit of Blood Drinker here. A little bit of Rune Tap. We got this. Interrupt. We're good. We're good. Damage taken is a little bit high. I am a little bit under geared, and these pulls just have a ton of stuff going on. My healer, I think, does need to drink up a little bit. Yeah, let's let our healer drink up. Paladin healers can really suck if they don't know how to use Beacon. Yeah, the AoE, since the artifact ability is gone, AoE healing is not as apparent on a Holy Paladin. So I'm going to stick on this augur. This augur is not going to get his big cast off where he's just going to make us run for the hills. Not right now. You can get those little wildfires off. I'm going to interrupt him when I can. But the other cast, no. Alright, perfect. Let's pick up this priestess. Shogground, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to come by anytime. Or drop me a comment or a DM or anything. Also, the community Discord. Alright, let's do this. This is going to be the big pull. Alright, so I'm going to need to try to mitigate as much damage as I can right off the bat. So let me do a little bit of rune tapping. That's my second charge. So now at this point, I'm popping my Dancing Rune weapon, which is going to serve me like maintaining bone shield charges up pretty damn well. So that's what I'm doing with that. And I was able to maintain bone shield pretty damn well there. And we actually were able to knock that out pretty well. Let me get this guy over here. Yeah, guys, DKs are doing big things. Alright, at this point, I'm going to build up my bone shield charges. Hopefully I get to build them up a little bit. I'm going to try to keep my runic power. Okay, we're good. Again, for the pull, taunt, blood drinker. Where you guys are going to see how much threat I maintain like that. So my threat right now is over 2,000%. You know, so that taunt plus blood drinker is really, really good. Let me, I'm going to grip this guy back as well when that's gone. No need, actually, no need. But that ad needs to go down as quickly as possible before it reaches the pools out there. As far as damage that I'm taking, 11k is a little bit more, a little bit above average. I would say that gear would make that a little bit more equal. So once I start getting within that 10 item level difference as opposed to being 19 item levels below, definitely under geared right now. So the 11k DPS taken is a little over what I'm used to, but you know, not too bad. Let's actually stun this ad as well. I already did my grip, and that was the stun. Perfect. Transfusion. Let me go ahead and pop my other movement ability because my Wraith Walk is on cooldown. I still get a movement boost there with my Death's Advance. So even though like Death Knights have traditionally been very slow, there's actually, you know, a few things that can help you with movement, and if you stagger them, you can actually have pretty good movement. I don't have Jerry, thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, you guys are, oh no, I'm going down a little bit. Alright, so my Wraith Walk is back up now, so now I can do this. Want to avoid stepping in those golden puddles. And Jerry, thanks again. So you definitely want to avoid stepping in that, but you guys can see that my movement is not as bad as you know, might remember or might know it from Legion. Why did this guy still spawn? Oh man. Oh, okay, he went away. I was gonna submit the bug, but he disappeared. We're good. No worries. No worries, Blizzard. Beacon of Virtue is awesome for 5-man content. I agree. I agree. Oh, that guy ran right through him. Oh no, it was the oh. I ran into that fire with AMS just to load up on a little bit of runic power. Just trying to load up for that pull just a little bit. Our healer just said, I forgot what Mythic 0. I forgot that Mythic 0 can be hard. Oh no, I forgot what it was like when Mythic 0 is hard. Yeah, when you have no gear. At the beginning of an expansion, when you run a Mythic 0 with all blues. All blue. Oh, I have one epic. It warforged into an epic. The good news is my only epic is a weapon, and this dungeon can't drop a weapon for me, so I won't be, you know, getting something else that I can't use. Anything that I get, any drop from here is gonna be useful. Alright, so if he gets this terrifying screech, there it is. It was a little too soon. My mind freeze wasn't off of cooldown yet. Now it is. So now I can interrupt this guy. Alright. You want to cast? No? That's fine. Let's go ahead and skip this. Beacon of Virtue is OP. 1 global cooldown, then heal the entire group for 100% for 8 seconds. Yeah, Beacon of Virtue puts in a lot of work. I don't know what this guy is running. I can inspect him. But you know, I also like I don't want to shame anyone because you know we're all learning the BfA right now, and all the talents are different. But let's see, what is he running? Inspect talents. Oh, he's running the one where he gets the DPS. I mentioned it to you guys earlier. I'll let him drink up before we pull. Oh, we have a full lap. Perfect. Yeah, he's running Avenging Crusader. Look at this, guys. Increasing your Crusader Strike, Judgment, and auto attack damage by 30%. Crusader Strike and Judgment cooldown is 30% faster, and heal up to 3 injured allies for 250% of the damage they deal. So, on a 2-minute cooldown for 20 seconds, you get this, you basically become like a little disc priest, right? And is he running Beacon? No, right? Oh, he's running Beacon of Virtue. Yep. And the Crusader's Might for stacking with that Avenging Crusader. Yeah, he's got a good spec. He's the lowest geared person here too, so that doesn't help. But whenever you're running that new content in the beginning of an expansion, it's always going to be an uphill struggle. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go around this LOS. Perfect. Let's get my 10 stacks. Oh, he's going to eat me up? That's fine. I'm going to pop Icebound before I get eaten up. That's fine. We can still Blood Boil in there, but that's about it. Just really Blood Boil. I want to make sure I tuck him into that corner like as much as possible. Let me pop my Vamp Blood and Blood Drinker to just heal up a little bit as well. And then I'll get some more healing up going right here. Get some more Death Strikes. There it is. He's going to eat up somebody else, so I get to really take a backseat here and enjoy. Hopefully nobody... Oh, somebody did step on that. He's about to go down, though. No big deal. Let me try to pick up this guy right here. He shouldn't even be able to get another fear off, but just in case, let me back him up into a corner, but we should be fine. There it is. Don't run. A Shakadin talent? Yeah, it is actually pretty cool, Shakadin. When can we get a tank comparison from me? Sadistic, if you want my impressions right now, I can, but I haven't done Brewmaster Monk. I'm going to be honest with you. I've done Vengeance Demon Hunter, Endgame, Legion. I've also done Vengeance Demon Hunter at level 114, which was Endgame at one point in Alpha. But I honestly feel like tanks are going to be, depending on the content, right? If we're talking about 5-man content, Blood DK is number 1. Number 2 is going to be Prop Paladin, Vengeance Demon Hunter. Tied for that number 2 spot. Number 3 will be Guardian Druid and I'm forgetting one of the classes here. Guardian Druid and Brewmaster Monk. And then a little bit below, or actually, you know, right around there will be arguably Warriors as well. As far as rating go, I don't think you can beat Monks. I think the way Stagger works when progression rating is crazy powerful. If you're not progression rating anymore, if you're just doing farming content, Guardian Druids are going to be very strong. So I think the number 1 spot for raid tanking is going to be depending on if you're progression or farming. Progression will be Monks all day, followed up by Guardian Druids and Blood DKs. And if you're farm tanking, it'll be Guardian Druids, followed by Monks and Blood DKs. Oh no, I'm going to go down to this. Save me! And then below them will be Prop Paladins again, offering a lot of utility, offering to even be able to group heal just by picking up their Light of the Protector, or their Hand of the Protector rather, and being able to bubble, being able to bop, being able to cleanse. All of these things are adding a lot of utility to raiding, and they're also very solid tanks. And then I unfortunately think that Warriors are the bottom of the list for both lists. However, not as bad as they were. Now we're at the bottom of the list within a reasonable amount now. We used to be the bottom of the list by a lot, and I was like, Warriors are just broken. This is terrible. I don't want to play a Warrior. But now we're at the bottom of the list, but we're just, you know, slightly below average. I think if they take Ignore Pain off the global cooldown, that'll do a lot, because then we can mitigate magic damage really well and physical damage. So we'll see if that change happens. Do I play any other tanks? In current live Legion, I have a Prot Warrior and a Vengeance Demon Hunter. Those are my 2 go-to tanks. I play a Holy Paladin as well, but I'm not the best healer. I have KSM. So I consider the classes that I play the classes that I have Keystone Master on. Like, I need to get a +15 done in time, and then I consider myself decent at a class. So that would be... Oh no, the totems are all dying at different times. That would be Prot Warrior, Holy Paladin, Vengeance Demon Hunter, Boomkin, and I think I've also done a Healing Druid KSM run. But yeah, there's As far as other tanks, I haven't tried Brewmaster Endgame. I haven't tried, I've tried the Prop Paladin Endgame here. As far as tanks in the beta, I've tried most tanks. I just haven't, because these totems need to die at the same time. Now we have a full totem, the other ones are about to go up. Alright. Let me go over here and DPS this other one over here. Let's see, is he gonna do a Noxious Stench right now? No. Okay, next one. I'll keep an eye out. But yeah, as far as the BfA beta, I've played almost every tank. Up next is Brewmaster, and then after that is Vengeance Demon Hunter. I've already done a first look at the Vengeance Demon Hunter, but I haven't done it at 120. But yeah, I'm gonna tank on everything in the BfA beta. Probably not when it goes live though. Alright, we need to get this one down. We need to get this one down. We need to get the other one down. Okay, we're good. Guys, we can do this. We can, like, take this boss down. Alright, guys, excuse me, because this boss hurts like hell. It doesn't matter who you tank on, this boss is gonna wreck your world. Alright, let's get a little bit of Blood Drinker action. Now let's get my Dancing Rune weapon. And I staggered my cooldowns. I have Rune Tap now in case things get a little heavy, so I'll start using Rune Tap right now. Give my healer a little time to recover. I have another charge of Rune Tap waiting for me. Let's use it right now. My Blood Drinker is almost off of cooldown, so I'm going to get to stagger that as well. This guy's almost dead. Let's pop Blood Drinker right now, stay alive. Sing the BGs a little bit. Perfect. Ooh, no loot, which means you normally get one piece of loot per dungeon. It means I'm getting loot from the last boss, which means Azurite gear, maybe. But as far as the tank comparison video, like an edited full form video, probably in, I'd say mid-July. So I still have 2 more classes to level and gear. And I like being able to gear up to the point where I do a mythic dungeon. I want to be able to say I leveled up every tank enough to be able to run the raid. So since I level up every tank and gear them up enough to be able to run the raid, it takes me a little bit more. So I'd say mid-July for an edited video where I can write down and tell you everything a little bit more concisely. 2-minute cooldown, so wings are still better since you don't know. That's true. That's true. It's a little more unknown. Alright, let's go. Alright, that opener, and by the way, that was the skewer hitting me. That's the magic damage going off on me. That's the big hit, right? One guy did not run away, so that means I need to run away from him. Okay, perfect. We got a DPS DK who was like, I got this. Don't worry about it. So, magic damage going to go out very soon. I'm going to pop a Rune Tap. There's my Rune Tap for it. Perfect. Yeah, all you need to do is, we don't have DBM, so it's a little harder to tell all the time. But being able to pop one of those defensive cooldowns when that's going to go out on you is insane. So there's another Rune Tap right there. It really helps out. It minimizes that damage by a lot. Okay, Soul Rend is going out. People are running away. I ran into a few spiders, which is fine. It's better me clearing them than anyone else. So I did a Gorefiend's Grasp there on the ad that was furthest behind me. I don't know if you guys saw that. Or furthest behind all of the ads. Just to kind of keep the ads a little bit further away. It doesn't make that big of a difference, but it's a small little bump that helps. I'm about to get hit by the Sever. I do have, there it is, I have another Rune Tap. With the Rune Tap, if I time my Rune Taps right, you know, that Sever is no big deal. So here's a Soul Rend going out. Hopefully everybody runs away. We can come back and nuke the boss. They don't necessarily need to nuke these ads immediately right now. No big deal. But I stunned that one. Come on, we got there it is. That's a Mythic 0 dungeon on a brand new Blood DK, guys. I got bracers. And a keystone. Let's see how good these braces are. Nice. 15 item levels up. Very nice. My keystone is for an underrot. Level 2. Good morning, Chaos. What are you planning on tanking with BfA, considering my own comparison? Sadistic, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to stick with my Prot Warrior as my first choice. However, I'm going to gear up my Prot Warrior ready to go with the first dungeon, right? I mean, for the first raid. So, just like I'm doing here, I'm going to gear up my Warrior as much as I can to give him a fair shot. I'm going to drag my Warrior into the first raid. If I'm underperforming, if all I'm doing is stressing out my healers, I'll play Vengeance Demon Hunter. Although Blood DK right now is putting up a really strong argument for my second tank, but I'm keeping my Prot Warrior as one of my tanks. My second tank, I was always looking at Vengeance Demon Hunter, but Blood DK is looking mighty fine right now too. But I'm sticking with my Warrior. If I start stressing out my healers in my raid, if I'm looking at logs and I'm underperforming in every single metric and just putting unnecessary strain, I will still use my Warrior to pug, and you guys will still see my Warrior in videos. But for guild progression, I won't be using my Warrior if that's the case. If Warriors are that much worse. On paper, Brewmaster should be because of stagger, right? So that's what I'm saying. Brewmaster is the best progression tank. When you talk about once you get into farm, you know, the tanking comparison starts changing up. But when you talk about progression, stagger offers like incredible benefits. You really want to see me do Brewmaster? That one's next, Jerry. So I was a little bummed out that the BfA beta went into maintenance and I wasn't going to be able to show you guys Mythic dungeons, but I was able to. So what that means is that after today's live stream, this weekend, I can create my Brewmaster and start leveling my Brewmaster. So I like to show, I like to not only do the content but show you guys live. So I've shown you guys heroics and mythics when it comes to warriors, paladins, druids, blood DKs, and so now I've even done mythic plus, but that's on my warrior because that's my best geared one. So now that I've shown that, I can start on my Brewmaster. Will warrior be viable, or will every other tank get picked over him? And do you ever think Prot Warrior could become mid pack or highest tier? I do think that Prot Warrior can become mid pack and high tier. So I believe Azerite traits can influence how strong you are, because there are some Azerite traits that are really good. Warriors had really bad Azerite traits when the alpha launched. Now, not so much. Let me show you. Let me hop on my warrior and show you that the Azerite traits are actually pretty damn good. So depending on Azerite traits, they could become middle of the pack. If Ignore Pain gets tossed off of the global cooldown, then we can become middle of the pack very easily that way. Freeing up one global cooldown doesn't sound like a lot, but when we talk about my rotation, depends on me having Ignore Pain up. Like, in order for me to survive, I need Ignore Pain up, which means that every 4 to 6 global cooldowns, one of them is Ignore Pain. It is my rage dump besides active mitigation. So if they free up that global cooldown, that'll bump us up a significant amount. But right now, unless they did it in this build, so there was a new build right now, so let's see. No, global cooldown still. Oh, I have a ton of weak auras. I was looking at some other weak auras too. Let me cancel this. Get rid of those weak auras. So yeah, let me show you some of these Azerite traits. Oh, here's a better Azerite trait. So apparently they changed some of these Azerite traits already. They had an Azerite trait here where it was like this. Thunderclap deals an additional damage and extends Demo Shout by 1 second. That's pretty damn good. Extending your Demo Shout. Your Demo Shout is already on a lower cooldown, 45 seconds. And you have, if you're running anger management, hopefully you are, you know, you can get that off a lot faster. So now we also have, I've seen this one before, blocking increases strength. That's going to be good. It's going to make my Ignore Pain stack higher because it does scale with attack power. But stuff like this, Ignore Pain is going to prevent additional damage and give me Leech. I like that. I like that a lot. So depending on the traits, warriors can become middle of the pack. Do I think warriors will ever be viable? I think warriors are viable right now. But it's important to note that warriors are, every time you have a list, you're going to have a top, you're going to have a bottom. Warriors are at the bottom of the list. Now, when the alpha first launched, warriors were like very far below the bottom of the list. Warriors were way down there. They were not that good, or not good at all, to be completely honest with you. But as patches have gone on and gone on, protection warriors are still below average, but not by that much anymore. So we're still viable. If you want to play a prot warrior and you're hard-headed and headstrong, you're like, I'm gonna play a prot warrior, I don't care what anyone says, you can, and you're absolutely gonna be able to do a +10. Let me show you guys that as well. Oh, apparently I didn't do a mythic dungeon this reset, or maybe because, oh, that's kind of weird. These are all the old mythic pluses. Anyway, yeah, so prot warriors are viable, but they are going to be performing a little bit worse. They're going to be, on average, taking a little bit more damage, and they don't have really too much self-healing. The only self-healing you have is impending victory. That is your self-healing. So, you know, there's a few things that you can do and you can really help out, but stuff like this is going to be your only healing. Ignore Pain just got a recent buff, so now things are getting better. Every patch, warriors are getting better. But yeah, I think they're completely viable. I just need to see in a raid scenario, when the raid actually launches, I'm going to be comparing logs, and if I'm stressing out my healers just for the fun of it, then that's when I'll just say, you know, time to progress with someone else. But I think we'll be okay. Every change that they've made has been a change towards a positive. This latest build, they made Ignore Pain better. So Ignore Pain, you see it says 20,000. It used to be 15,000. So 20,000, that's a decent chunk of my health now. They got their guard back as well by getting Vanguard with the increased stamina and armor. So yeah, warriors have also, they were at the very bottom in terms of HP. Now that's not necessary. I mean, I think we still are at the bottom, but a little bit of stamina buffs happened 2 builds ago. We got a little bit more stamina here in Vanguard. We got a little bit more of that Ignore Pain. So things are starting to add up. Warriors are still viable. We're below average, but not by much. It's important to note that you know, 2 months ago I was you know, screaming at myself that warriors are completely broken, and I even made the video where Ian slowly chopped me to bits like the Black Knight in Monty Python. That's not the case anymore. Also, aren't they reworking block? They are reworking block statistic, and that has not happened yet. Oh wait, it did. It just happened. So in this current build, it just happened. You used to mouse over block and it said increases your armor, reduces incoming damage. It just happened. I need to crunch all these numbers and come up with a, let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what I did last time. The video didn't go live because as I was editing the video, they changed it. So here's my old spreadsheet. This is the way blocking used to work in the old BfA build. I have all of my values here. I have this. I'm gonna do this again now. Not live. This, you know, it's very boring to make an Excel sheet live, but I'm gonna do those comparisons, and I'm going to bring you guys another spreadsheet, and I'm gonna make a video all about blocking. It just got reworked right now. So blocking reduces damage by 35%. I'm assuming that's based off of my block value. So yeah, and then if I critical block, chance to critically block by 30%. Okay, I need to run some numbers, guys. So warriors and paladins just got a buff as of 2 hours ago. So I'm very excited. Sadistic, I'm telling you, things are looking up. This might put us at average or even above average, depending on how good this is. This might be what we needed. if you look at Legion, a regular block in Legion was 30%, right? And a critical block was 60%. A regular block right now is 35%. So that's just baseline without crunching any numbers. I need to crunch all these numbers, and I think blocking is going to be just about as good as it was in Legion, so I don't think we have too much to worry about. So this might be the patch that makes warriors come back up. Thank you for making me look, by the way, Sadistic. I'm getting excited. Yes, I am, man. Let me know you're a diehard warrior fan. Sadistic, you can rest. You can like be assured that I am also a diehard warrior fan. I mean, I've got my Mage Tower skin right here, right? I'm rocking it proudly. Let me actually, let's see. This Star Collar achievement, I used to rock it all the time because when I was in my heyday of tanking and trying to get realm first on my prot warrior, that was one of the big achievements I did, Star Collar. So I am getting excited. I need to crunch these numbers, my friend, and bring you a video that's not a boring Excel file, which I'm gonna be doing. Hearing you say logs makes you think of logs from Tuesday and Thursday. You had a bunch of 80 and 90% parses. Nice, very nice, Brian. My highest parse was a 99% healing parse on my warrior in Legion. Because of the way that I played by generating and eating rage with those bracers, I used to do really good on the healing meters, which is really weird for a tank to say. But I used to kill it on those. Oh, you guys see that glitch? If I walk backwards on my high mountain Tarn, look at my helmet. Oh, walk anyway. It doesn't matter if it's forwards or backwards. Oh, my shoulders shrink too. Look at this. All right, there's a lot of things. You have a +2 toll to gore. Matney, I want to crunch these numbers first, but oh, Matney, do a /who 2 sunders and request me, because I'm gonna be running mythics on every single tank I have, so I need some DPS, man. 99% healing parse as a tank, killing it, man, killing it. Matley, we're /who grasshopper, I got you. I have to invite you. I'll add you right now, Matney. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's live stream. We covered Blood DK, Heroic, and Mythic. We also did a little bit of live. I hadn't run keys in about 3 or 4 weeks, so that was actually pretty cool. We got 2 keys done immediately, so that was actually really fun, seeing how the prot word changes. I'm just waiting for Ignore Pain to be off the global cooldown. You guys can expect a more cinematic video on Monday that is going to be leveling zones, which zones I prefer. It's also going to include spoilers because I'm going to talk about a bit about the story there. So I'm going to be releasing that on Friday. I need to crunch all these numbers, and the blocking video will be up sometime next week. I don't know when. I need to go hit a target dummy for a little while right now and crunch all these numbers. The reason why I keep all this gear and all these shields is to get a lot of plot points and to see exactly what's going on. So I need to do that. So I will see you guys next Wednesday with the live stream, and we'll probably, I'm gonna try to finish leveling up my monk, but with this new blocking value, I can't promise that. It might be more Mythic Blood DK content, or we can also just do some leveling Brewmaster stuff, so you guys can see me on a Brewmaster. But Brewmaster is coming soon since we just wrapped up Blood DK. You're running off to do the numbers? Guys, I need to. This is exciting. I need to know how much better this is. Alright guys, I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great weekend. Thank you guys for all your support. There was a lot of donations today. Thank you guys for all your donations. Thank you guys for keeping me busy with the chat. I love talking to you guys. That's the reason I started the chat. I was putting out all these long format, or all these edited videos on my channel, and I had a lot of comments in the comment section, a lot of people reaching out to me wanting to ask me questions, and so I decided, why not live stream and answer all those questions? So the reason why I started this was to talk with you guys, so I appreciate you all being here and talking with me. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good weekend all.